Tuna wageni watatu, Mheshimiwa Sebastian Kapufi mbunge, ambao ni wadau wa maendeleo kutoka Marekani. Wadau wa maendeleo kutoka Marekani, karibuni sana.
Container packed with supplies that need to make their way to families in Africa like yesterday. You said this is a 53-foot trailer? This trailer is packed with medical supplies destined to the motherland. We need to help get these out of here.
What were you taught about marriage? Did it have you properly prepared for the journey or desperately frustrated looking for the nearest escape? I'm Shar, founder of Law for Love, the most special place in the legal system in Atlanta. And after navigating families through the court system for more than 13 years, we are now taking those lessons learned to serve and support families to build healthier, happier, more purposeful marriages. Join us live on YouTube at Law for Love ATL Monday nights for our family meetings. Yes, grown folk discussions.
Shalom, Salama, Siyemi, Shalom. Greetings to all my Israelite brothers and sisters from around the world, whether you're the bloodline of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, the house of Israel, or you're a Gentile grafted into the house under the blood of Yahushua HaMashiach. I welcome you this morning. This is a Friday morning. This is a little off schedule. I had stated yesterday that I'll go live. I missed a couple days this week traveling and taking my Shabbat / being sick. And so just to preface, I'm going to have to redo the Faso days. Shout out to Brother Fats Nickel. It should have been Faso days because it was 2 days in Washington, D.C. So that was my fault. I'll go ahead. I'll get that redone, get it back on queue, and go from there. But that's just a highlight of what we do behind the scenes. Shout out to Brother Fast Nickel. So I will have that adjustment for the next time. Other than that, the video production was very good. The Fossil days, it consisted of 2 days. The first day you saw it was for the vendors, and then the second day was a gala. During that time, my part in that was doing the work of Quest Unite Africa to interact with the Embassy of Burkina Faso. It was a very, very, very good put together event. They did appreciate our attendance, and that's one of the things that that has to be done when you're interacting at that high level of government. So, because when you're when you're working on trying to get contracts signed at that level, it's not just about hey, thanks for the contract, and then you're out the door. No, there's a certain level of diplomacy that takes place. There's a certain level of interaction place because you're having to build trust, and trust is easier said than done. And that trust is putting your body on the line to go and make a 2,500-mile trip on the road. And it's not just wear and tear in the vehicle, but it's also wear and tear on the body. And shout out to Brother Yakoba yesterday for the shout out. Yeah, we are doing some great things in the background. But in order to do those great things in the background, we need your support. No contracts have been signed yet. We're in the process of it. And our contracts go straight to the top. Excuse me, family, as I'm dealing with this head cold. Because the office of the presidency of Burkina Faso recognizes the importance of what we are doing. He recognizes the importance of what Quest to Unite Africa is doing. And that's why, yes, it's moved in such a dramatic way that things like this it doesn't move very quickly, nor does it garner the attention, excuse me, and respect at the highest echelons of government. So again, the support from the community is needed more now than ever. This is the season right now. And if you didn't know that this was the season right now, I would invite you to find reruns of the debate last night. And I guarantee you, you probably will not find many. Not many, except probably on Twitter. This I gotta share this. I'm not. I remain politically neutral. I don't have any type of I just had Garth on. Don't worry, Garth. Just come on up here. Don't worry. Just come on up here, Garth. The reason why I say everything is important right now, because I don't know what to tell you. You may have to just see this thing to believe. You may have to just see it to believe it. Give me a second. And when I say this, that we need to do our very, very best efforts to reach out to our family on the continent. Look, we may not have the resources to get the containers through. I get it. That's fine. But what we do have the resources for is to keep everything sustained for Quest to Unite Africa. Generally, we get in between 2,500 to about 3,000 a week. And we really need 5,000 a week to sustain operations. That's just sustain operations. something had come on up with our Q2A logistics, Tanzania, a couple of weeks ago. And we were praying, okay, Father, let's pray these things come on in. Let's pray that we can get things going. But no, it didn't come in. Now, for what we were looking for in that pledge, we're working on that. The Most High has opened up the door. We're working on that. But in this time, it really does feel like we're going up against the walls of Jericho. The city's been delivered. The enemy's been delivered. But it's really that last thrust as we're going around the circle. For now, the 40th, 50th, 60th time. But did you think it was going to be easy in captivity? Did anyone think it was going to be easy in captivity? So yeah, throughout this, Covenant Awakenings, I'm here to raise funds. Please do not send that to me. If you are sending it to Covenant Awakenings, you need to send it to Quest to Unite Africa. Let me give you the link. Quest to Unite Africa does not receive cash apps. Let me send you the link, and you'll have to go and navigate to the donate. It's right on the top if you are browsing in the screen. Here's the link to that. Please make your donations here. I would be on this would be a regular Quest to Unite Africa day, but we have to talk about the debate debacle that we just saw that has real live, deadly serious consequences here in the United States. Because you want to know why? Because you're looking at the demographic structure of the United States. You're looking at the literal trouble piece that's top down. The spinning top of the United States. Your population center of the United States. And it's not just younger people carrying the United States. No, it's not. The United States has no base for young people. It is suffering just like all of the other European nations. And once you see that happen, you saw literally that the emperor has no clothes. I'm going to go here. I know it's biased thing. I get it. But I'm going to tell you this. When you don't have a mentally cognitive leadership, and here's the crazy thing, I'm going to tell you this. Back in 2000, between 2007 in 2012. Here's something that went on in the United States' armed forces, especially at higher level commands, as they were really needing troops to get to those places out in the Middle East. They brought in retired recall. And it's not funny because I can see this happening again because I saw this with my very own eyes. And at that time, as they were trying to find the scramble reservists and things of that nature, well, there are politics going on even in the military. Surprise, surprise. Everybody in their dad was trying to get on over at CENTCOM because the per diem was great. You got paid basically an extra $100,000, especially at that time. It was great. If you went down to Tampa, if you knew you're getting orders, so you hurried up and you got a address or rented a place in New York City to sustain yourself, and people are playing games at that time. And they get on good old per diem, making about 51 a day and having about, I think it was like $150 a night.
For how long? Shalom. I'm sorry for cutting in.
Some people were doing this for like, I knew of a story of someone that had done it for about 9 years, ever since things kicked off. And not only were they getting the per diem in Tampa, they were getting the per diem where they were at because they had to double up for the place that they were at. And here's the messed up thing. They were renting the place to themselves.
Wow, what a gross misapplication of funds.
Oh yeah, they were trying their best to do all the, the different things going on. But yeah, so I wanted to preface that story because what was going on, especially where I worked at in the coalition at that time, and when I was with Marine Forces Central Command, they were bringing on retired recalls, and not so much in the Marine Corps, but in the Army. You had someone that wearing hearing aids, and I believe that he was actually over 60. They had to give him a waiver, so he was not physically in the condition to do anything. It was just sad, but it was true. He was a major too. There was Lieutenant Colonel. I shouldn't have laughed, but we used to nickname him Eddie Monster. Because he was pretty tall, but you could tell that he was suffering from deficits because he had suffered a stroke and he was on active duty. So now imagine this 10 years later when your armed forces are not recruiting who they want to recruit. Because why? Because the recruiting pool has literally dried up. It's not that they can't find recruits. Your recruiting pool is dried up because your demographics is terrible. The demographics cannot support. This was the whole situation of why they needed to go AI real quick, why they were talking about automation to AI. That was a pretty quick jump. Because why? Because really they're trying to get you comfortable for these Boston dynamics, or is it, yeah, the robots that flip, the ninja robots.
Yeah, it's Boston Dynamics. Yeah.
Getting you ready for those ninja robots, and they're going to be like, it's cool, and don't worry. They only see and can recognize the genome for Russians, North Koreans, and Chinese.
Also, I don't know if it's real. I saw that Tesla was making robots for combat. I don't know
I'm
how
sure
far
they're
that.
all. I'm sure they're all. Why? Or why not? They've literally admitted they don't have enough manpower. I look at it like this. I think they probably, i.e., the Asians, the West, or excuse me, the global South. I believe they probably already have.
Shalom, family. Actually, those Tesla robots go on sale, if I'm not mistaken. I think they said a month from now.
So people can get their road. Hey Brian, if you can, I don't know what's going on. Yeah, we got an echo from you. Okay, that's better. All right, we can fix that echo. You may have to get off of Bluetooth. So let me go ahead. Let me go ahead. I want to show this to you all. This is. Let me go ahead and get this going. This was just in the screen. I don't care who you politically lean or align to, good, bad, or indifferent. But this is what we're dealing with because this is the emperor now.
Both how making sure that we're able to make every single solitary person eligible for what I've been able to do with the with the COVID. Excuse me, with dealing with everything we have to do with. Look, if we finally beat Medicare, we're trying to provide housing for Black Americans. The impact on the choice, the idea that they're gonna. I'm proposing that everybody they pay. The millionaires pay 1%, 1%. So no one after I've not raised the cost of Social Security for anybody. I got my handicap, which when I was vice president, down to a 6. And wants to get away with, get rid of the ability of Medicare for the ability for us to be able to negotiate drug prices with the big pharma companies. What I'm going to do is fix the tax system. For example, we have 1,000 trillionaires in America. I mean, billionaires in America. No one was hurt. No one Israeli was accidentally killed, and it stopped. And I'm going to continue to move until we get the total ban on the total initiative relative to what we're going to do with more border patrol and more asylum officers.
Okay. So I'm not endorsing the Trump campaign, but
Oh my gosh, man, that was it was rough to watch at times. I mean, that man sounded like Boomhauer from King of the Hill at times.
it was pretty rough. That was very rough. But it really should have a cause for concern because I know it's late. You all have families. What that means is these are some cognitive issues that are popping up. And okay, give me a second. Sorry, trying to do some engineering here while
Did you have a Biden moment?
no, I'm trying to do some engineering. You know, that's how kind of that works. Long, bro. Let me this. I don't know, brother Mike, if you've seen what we are getting ready to. Yeah, yeah. That you mean? Listen, if to deal with geriatrics, right? You had to deal with your great grandparents, great uncles, right? There's a point to where they can't operate a motor vehicle.
Yeah, I saw it in my grandfather, and then just everyday things. You just talk to my grandmother. She would just forget simple things like 15 minutes ago, and like she asked me to do something, and I did it, and then she just forgets. You could tell at that point.
Well, I think
What
that's the
does the
whole
word say?
nation.
Look, yeah, go ahead, brother Mike.
I think it's the nation. I mean, this is just a glimpse. Truthfully, hmm, we were in his
This is
predicament.
it.
I mean,
Yeah,
yeah.
this is it. Because why? Because truthfully, what are they trying to say with? Yeah, they're doing all the Social Security and the Medicaid and the Medicare scare. Because why? Because they know that's the demographic. Oh, they respect America, America, all that other stuff. I'm like, I'm sorry. They're not respecting old people anymore. If you fall out of the demographic of 18 to 36 compared to the rest of the world, you are old. So while the world has the younger population, truly it doesn't matter anymore. Truly, you are actually in a tough predicament. What stops anybody if they run up on in here with the cyber attack? If they come on in there, you can shoot all the guns, all the weapons that you need. That's not going to stop anybody. It truly won't. It actually gets to a point in time that when you shoot as much as you're shooting, your barrel will get hot and your barrel will light up and you'll have to have your barrel have time to cool down. And so imagine if your barrel has to cool down for 5, 6, 7, 8 seconds. You get overrun. They throw a grenade into your position. But I'm sure a lot of, these folks out here that think that they know a thing or two because they played
Call of Duty.
Fortnite,
Call of
Call
Duty.
of Duty, Fortnite. There's no limitations at all. Yeah, right. Oh yeah, Deborah. Yeah, yeah. I believe he had an earpiece. Biden had an earpiece, and he was listening. They were trying to have him hold the pen so he could then, recognitively focus with the pen holding, and then he was able to kind of, finagle on out something. Yeah, that was really, to me, that was the worst debate I've seen in history. And family, please, again, if you're getting on in here, we need your help with keeping this mission going because we are working to Get things done while we can get things done. Working with our Burkinabe, working with our Nigerians, working with our Malayans, and other interested countries, and what we're doing right now with these medical supply containers. But the work, family, it's going to happen, but we need your help in closing this. And we're so close to closing this right now, but we need your help. That's how you can give. You can go to questuniteafrica.org and donate. 2024 is right on the top of the page. Thank you, Brother Fast Nickel, for that awesome page. But that, we need that right now. We're so close, family, right now. So let me go ahead. I'm going to play this clip. This is coming from MSNBC, so we'll see how this commentary goes, if any.
We made it public. He took none. I'd like to see him take one, just one, a real easy one. Like go through the first 5 questions. He couldn't do it. But I took 2 cognitive tests. I took physical exams every year. And, you know, we knock on wood wherever we may have wood, that I'm in very good health. I just won 2 club championships, not even senior, 2 regular club championships. To do that, you have to be quite smart, and you have to be able to hit the ball a long way. And I do it. He doesn't do it. He can't hit a ball 50 yards. He challenged me to a golf match. He can't hit a ball 50 yards. I think I'm in very good shape. I feel that I'm as in good a shape as I was 25, 30 years ago. Actually, I'm probably a little bit lighter, but I'm in as good a shape as I was years ago. I feel very good. I feel the same. But I was willing to take a cognitive test. And you know what? If I didn't do well, I aced them. Dr. Ronnie Jackson, who's a great guy when he was White House doctor. And then I took another one, a similar one. And one of them said they've never seen anybody ace him.
Thank you. President Biden?
You can see he is 6'5" and only 223 pounds, or 235 pounds. Well, you said 6'4", 200. Well, anyway, that's what anyway, just take a look at what he says he is, and take a look at what he is. Look, I'd be happy to have a driving contest with him. I got my handicap, which when I was vice president, down to a 6. And by the way, I told you before, I'm happy to play golf if you carry your own bag. Think you can do it?
That's the biggest lie. He's a 6 handicap of all.
I was an 8 handicap.
Yeah.
8.
Never.
But I had, you know,
I've seen you swing. I know you swing.
Okay, let's
not act like children.
President Trump, we're going to
21
Let's not act like children.
Hey. Okay.
That's sad. That is absolutely sad.
Literally, that's literally when I just was like, okay, all right, I've seen enough. oh my gosh. Oh man.
Somebody need to go change their depends.
And we were, and people are like, oh, he did it. Nah, man. Look, there is worse on out there. If you find worse, put it in the chat. BYOB. Bring it. Actually, I can't even access the chat. I'm sorry. Can I? I'll try to see. It's crazy.
That was like a WWE promo. Please. I mean, that's what it all was. It was like Trump was gonna be the new WWE championship, and Biden was the champion before, but he's the jobber now. If people understand what I'm talking about, that's what this was, clearly.
So here's the funny thing. As I was watching this, I was looking at a little bit of Willie D live.
Mm-hmm.
And let me tell you, the chat in Willie D live was they were electrified. And let me tell you, black folks are going to be voting for Trump.
Oh, yep. Unfortunately, I mean, and you say electrifying, it just makes me think of The Rock. Unfortunately, I'm sorry. You said electrifying.
But, wait a minute. Did you say blacks will or won't?
Will.
All right, will. All right.
You're a robot. You're a robot.
I'm gonna go out and I'm gonna come back in.
We can hear you now, wherever you're at. Just now. I think it's me. I think it's me. Go ahead.
All right. But now, I mean, shucks. I mean, I'm wait a minute. I didn't watch the debate and things. I'm just wondering, did the question ever come up? Why are all Americans being ousted out of their homes and apartment, along with this massive migration? I mean, did that question come up? Because I didn't watch it.
Yeah, it came up, and Trump
Oh my
was.
goodness.
Yeah, Trump. I mean, yeah. Whether you agree with Trump or not, those are the questions that that Biden really couldn't answer, and they knew that he couldn't answer. And when he tried to answer it, it was like you could tell it's a cognitive glitch. They're whatever they were giving him, so he could be, so he could be cognizant of the situation. It was sad. It was sad. You could tell he really couldn't move or walk, or it was bad. And that's the condition. Trump embodies the condition of the United States, bar
That's
none.
what I was thinking. That's what I was thinking, Kev. What you just said.
Yeah. And the only thing that he could really see is, was what was really being fed to him in his earpiece. And I don't think that he could really even express that at the same time that he was getting the answer.
Yeah, he couldn't keep up, and literally, I mean, geez, that was an alley oop. Some of these questions that they were giving to Trump and him, it was like, hey, here's the ball, and the alley oop, and he just slam dunk on Biden with that migrant thing. He said it was the migrant crime bill, migrant Biden thing, or whatever. He started making ad hominems, all while speaking truth, but there was a lot of ad hominems about he's how he caused all these criminals to come in, that all that. Well, it's not it's true, but he played into it, and Biden looked like a fool. Trump gave him the people's elbow, and that's what happened.
But I mean, look, I don't care about who's on the stage. I really don't. So, for folks emotionalizing into this, I don't care. We're just breaking down the problem that this country is facing, because you're now seeing the lack of whatever is leadership in this country. Pixie Glam, we are going to address that question, because I asked Sister Fatan that. I said, what does he mean by black jobs? He's taking off the
Oh,
immigrants
dear.
are taking off our black jobs. Oh my
I
goodness.
was waiting for Trump to say, my African
Am I
Americans.
taking what was black jobs? They're they're okay. So let me preface this. I gotta preface this right. All right. So last week, as I was heading out to Atlanta, my mom lives in Gainesville, about an hour and a little over an hour and a half away from me, a little over an hour and a half. And usually when I stop into Gainesville, on the way to my mom's, it's a Bojangles. And we don't have Bojangles down here in Tampa. I think the closest Bojangles that you get is like Jacksonville, and they don't really go south of Orlando. And so I the last time I was there was about 2 or 3 months ago, and I know that the Bojangles has been kind of on and off every time I've gone there. It's been on and off. So when I go this time, I'm like, okay, hopefully it's there. It's around, a decent time. Well, Bojangles in Gainesville, Florida, off of Archer Road, is no longer Bojangles. They changed it, and they're changing it. I believe they're changing it. It's not open yet, but they're changing it to Pollos. Sign and everything. I wish I could make this up. Sign and everything. So not only are they taking black jobs, they're taking black people food in restaurants too. Oh Lord have mercy.
Is this the country's way of saying? Let me see. I'm trying to put this in a nice way.
Time to pack your
Uh,
bag. Time to
yeah,
pack your
some.
bag.
Yeah, that's what it sounds like to me. This is how y'all do us. What we done for you people. You people. This is what you do. Hey, it seems hey they doing what they want to do. It's just that simple. Man, that's something else. I was just talking to a buddy of mine's. He like, man, Mike, this workflow is slow. I was talking to my brother yesterday. He said, man, I don't know what's going on. He said, everything just extremely slow. And he even recognized that his other friends that has businesses, it's across the board. It's nearby like nearly every black business has taken a hit. Has taken a very serious hit.
I'm sure it has. Let me go ahead. Garth had just dropped this in the link, so I want to share this. Here we go.
What he said about the police, how close the police are to him. Almost every police group in the nation from every state is supporting Donald J. Trump. Almost every police group. And what he's
Okay, let me preface this. I'm gonna start this over. I'm gonna preface this because this is very interesting of the context. Let me preface this. Now, the jobs that are created for millions, and this is, you can look at the Department of Labor and Statistics, you can actually look at it yourself. They've only been service jobs. When you're talking about Uber, Lyft, and other service dominated industry, customer support, yeah, those jobs are created. And he did create millions of jobs because really at this time, you have folks working 2 or 3 jobs. So I have to really consider and have our people consider, you're not having jobs that can sustain you. And this is why I have to also preface this when they're talking about low income to no hardly any income when it comes to black jobs. That's what Trump is referring to, black jobs. I'm not partial to anybody. We're just showing you the debate debacle because why? Because it should show you firsthand how they think about us. And now that shows firsthand, look, Africa, look, diaspora, this is what they think about us. So if they think about us here, what do you think about you all there on the continent? Why do you think that just a few months ago, Eric Prince and others were talking about recolonizing the African continent?
Yeah, I seen that. I seen that. And just by hearing it, you get, and it's irritating to hear. Yeah, but they're scared though.
Yeah, look, they're not even showing you what's going on at the malls here. The malls throughout the country are closing. If you live in Florida, I guess we're good, but everywhere else, not so much. I was looking at this channel. There's this man. He lives in South Florida, I think near Miami somewhere. And I'll listen to his commentary. He just walks around shooting selfies, and he, talks about the numbers of the economy. And he went back to his hometown of somewhere in Illinois. It's like Rockville. Maybe you've heard of it, Mike. Rockville. I've never heard of it.
Rockville.
I know about Rockford. Yeah.
I was about to say Rockford. Yeah.
Yeah. No, he said Rockville.
Okay.
And the whole situation that they have was that mall only had like maybe a dozen and a half stores still open. All of the other stores were just shuttered.
Not to cut you off, but Monmouth Mall is pretty much done, and Trump's son-in-law is gonna make it into luxury apartments.
Mm-hmm.
Luxury apartments. Who's buying these apartments when everybody not working?
Mm-hmm. And who's exactly? Because look, when they talk about, it was funny. Trump was like, "Oh, Biden's a Manchurian candidate." Well, I would say Trump is in a what was that? What was that back in the day movie? Oh, with that, it was a Russian spy, and he didn't realize he was a Russian spy. And then when he woke up, it was But we'll say we'll keep it simple. I guess Trump is a Winter Soldier candidate.
Okay.
You got a Manchurian candidate, and you got a Winter Soldier candidate. So who's who?
Wow.
So I'm gonna show this video. Fair use. This is all fair use. But understand, look, this is what I wanted to touch on before we get on in here. If you see that they were saying about the treatment of black people, do you understand the very first thing that they have about the treatment of black people is the police? What have we said? What has been stated on this channel? What have I said about this? Sister Chantel, before I get into this, what have I said about this channel? Or about our situation here, our predicament here on this channel? Many a time, plenty of time, of a generational open prison that, yes, you can descend into the depths or you can rise up. But guess what? You're still in a generational open air prison.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
Sorry, I was just going to say shalom to everybody in the chat. Sorry, I'm late. Hey, how are you guys?
Okay.
Shalom, sis. How you doing?
Yeah. Shalom. Um, yeah, it's basically, this is a version of this is the larger version of what's going on in that Middle Eastern country. That's all. And it's being played out, and there is it's those who want to cling to the cloak of righteousness, that it's like, oh, we need to save them, but charity begins at home.
Mm-hmm.
You have us scattered, littered all over the place, and you're looking at them, and you don't realize that the things that you're calling them out about, you're guilty of. And you can turn around and say, oh, not I. But just because you weren't there to make the policies, you are there to maintain it, because you're not pulling it down. Why would you? You benefit from it. I want to talk about how, oh, why should you get this, that, and the other? Well, why? Because it happened so long ago. So why are you benefiting from all the laws, the Constitution, or the amendments, everything? Why are you benefiting from all of these things that happened in a time where you weren't even a glimmer in your granddaddy's? That's what I'm saying.
Boomers.
So let me go here. I'm gonna play this. Fair use again for everything.
To what he said about the police, how close the police are to him. Almost every police group in the nation from every state is supporting Donald J. Trump. Almost every police group. And what he's done to the black population is horrible, including the fact that for 10 years he called them super predators. We can't, in the 1990s, we can't forget that. Super predators was his name, and he called it to them for 10, and they've taken great offense at it, and now they see it happening. But when they see what I did for criminal justice reform and for the historically black colleges and universities, where I funded them and got them all funded, and the opportunity zones with Tim, as you know, Tim Scott was incredible. He did a great job, great senator from South Carolina. He came to me with the idea, and it was a great idea. It's one of the most successful economic development acts ever in the country, opportunity zones. And the biggest beneficiary are blacks. And that's why we have the best numbers with them in maybe ever. They're saying ever. I read this morning where ever, the best numbers. He's lost much of the black population because he's done a horrible job for black people. He's also done a horrible job for Hispanics. But wait till you see these millions of people pouring into our country, and they're going to take the jobs, and it's already started, and you haven't seen anything yet. It's a disaster.
You have 38 seconds left, President Trump. Will you take any action as president to slow the climate crisis?
So I want absolutely immaculate clean water, and I want absolutely clean air, and we had it. We had H2O. We had the best numbers ever, and we were using all forms of energy, all forms, everything. And yet, during my 4 years, I had the best environmental numbers ever. And my top environmental people gave me that statistic just before I walked on the stage, actually.
Why don't? Okay. All right.
This man's uncanny ability to talk in hyperbole and exposition is unmatched.
Yeah, it is. So let me break these on down. In terms of water, I would say yeah, because right now, how many times have we been in a water, some sort of a water or boil water notice over the last just 6 months? I know I have twice. Just about something's going on. And I mean, a lot of it is due to a lot of hacking. And when you are in let's just face it, we are in a war. We just didn't want to say that we're in a war. So they're going after infrastructure, and that's what they've been. The clean air and everything else, I don't know. The black jobs, I'm still trying to make sure I'm still trying to qualify what that means. The best numbers, I'm still trying to quantify what that means. The numbers are the best. What the best of what? What's the statistical? What do you define that against? It's the best. I mean, when you are understanding the the sixth grade level that he's operating on, it is. It is.
Huge,
Can you
bigly.
define? It's awesome. No, our stuff is big. Oh, it's great.
Yeah, but that's deliberately done. He's not that basic.
No,
Not really.
no,
It's
I know.
deliberately done to woo people into a false sense of security. Oh, it's just Donald Trump. He's a bit simple. No, not really. If people think that, then no. This man is calculating. He really is.
Yeah.
He really is.
No, no, man. I even get told, Brother Karras, you need to really bring down your word quality. I get told this.
What?
Am I
No.
right? Am I right, Garth?
Yeah, I mean,
By
I
who?
understand you, but
I get told that.
People who speak plainly sometimes, and
I
that's
speak
nothing
plainly,
wrong with that.
but I read dictionary. I used to read a dictionary when I was a kid, and the encyclopedias.
No, believe it or not, whenever you're trying to communicate with people, it's actually told that you need to communicate at a third grade level so everyone can be able to understand. Everybody can be able to understand. So it's hugely. It's big. Sorry, that was my Trump nuances, but that's where you have a lot of these issues that are going on because he's communicating in the dog whistles, and if you didn't know what he was communicating last night in the dog whistles, that there won't even be an America left. America's about to get destroyed. People need to stand up and take this country back. Take this country back. And he said, by voting, right? That's what I was trying to say. But the dog whistles were on out there. Look, that was literally the king of dark sentences, right? And dark policy right there.
America's done. It's not a matter of we need to take the country back. I love scriptures. It says in the scripture, I can't remember if it's Isaiah or where exactly, but it says it's Isaiah 47. It's exactly what I was talking about. It says that something about how mischief will come upon you and you won't even know where it comes from. The thing is, they all want to point to this, that, and the other, but you can't actually say where specifically it's coming from. This is what they want to claim. Oh, that's conspiracy theory. This is the pulling all these different strings over the board and trying to connect the dots because you don't know exactly where it is coming from, and where you suspect it's coming from, you can't exactly say. And you can't exactly prove. I mean, you could prove, but you're going to have a whole mountain of lawyers, their lawyers, cutting you to shreds. But it's the everybody's pulling at strings, like literally, and it's so funny because it's like this is exactly what you said. They're all trying to use us now as their bargaining chip. Oh, well, this is what you did. You did this to the black community. You did that. You wasn't given this, that, and the other. And when I was in office, I did this and I did that. Mm-hmm. You're all guilty. You're all guilty. All of you. So, yeah, this is exactly what they were going to do. You said it. I think Jacoba said it. And certain other people in the chat have said it. They're going to use us as their little bargaining chip. We all know this. Even those of the secular channels know this. We know this. It's like the problem is that I tell you what it is. Yeah, they don't think that we're as smart as they think, as they hope we're not. No, we're smarter. We are smarter. We're just not as devious and conniving as you, but we're a lot smarter than you think. And whatever you think we could be, we're a lot more smarter. Why? Because we have the Most High that's showing us, and we're able to discern and go through the pages of the scripture and know exactly what you're doing. Before you've even done it, we know what you're going to do. That's their problem. They think they're smart, and you're not. You're not as smart as you think you are. And we are not as slow or as dumb as you think we are.
Well, remember, that is why they've lost Africa. I'm telling you, they've lost it. Africa's already gone. Africa's already gone.
Oh yeah, man. What's happening
Yeah.
in Kenya and all throughout the Sahel, and it's going from the West Africa now to East. It's just it's about it's just a matter of time.
Yeah.
That Ruto man needs to just evaporate. Sorry. I don't care, actually.
And if you didn't know, so yes, if a lot of people don't understand, this ties in to everything that's going on all throughout the world. This is America. They're trying to figure out and how to debate about black people and jobs for blacks. Black jobs.
And I hate that. I'm sorry. What are we going to do about the blacks? What the fudge? Don't call us that. I hate them. It's like a sneer, the blacks. Like it just
if you didn't
spits
know,
out of their venomous tongue.
They hate us. So now
we know.
So now, and here's the thing: if it wasn't true, then why are they displaying it? Look, it's all out on display. To me, this is why I'm like, there's a time frame that the Most High has. It literally is. And now I'm sorry for all those, if you're listening here and you love this system. If you love this system, I'm sorry that you're listening and and you're seeing your system going down. But it is. I just want to be truthful.
Yeah, sorry.
But here's the thing. This system isn't going to last very long. Because here's the problem now that the system has. The system's lost control of black people.
Mm-hmm.
And what a lot of black people are even saying right now is, why vote?
Mm-hmm.
Why vote?
My sister literally just said that about here.
What are you going to vote for? What are you really going to vote for?
It's
Pharaoh A or Pharaoh B?
It's like
Pharaoh
choosing
white or Pharaoh black?
Would
Pharaoh
you rather
nice guy, Pharaoh bad guy? I mean, you see what I'm saying? Go ahead, Garth.
Oh no, I was just gonna say it's like, well, how would you rather die, by drowning or by fire, by burning alive? Basically, those are your choices.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly.
Yep. Because each way is going to be painful.
Drowning burns, burning burns. Whichever way you look at it.
Yep.
One burns from the inside, the other one burns on the outside, but it's still a painful way to die.
Still a painful way. And that's what they had. And when people are saying, we're not our ancestors. I with Sister Shonda, when she was talking about that, and Brother Yacoba, oh my goodness, they are not us, which is true. They aren't. Then they try to have this, a rudimentary very basic kindergarten level understanding of we're not our ancestors, so don't blame us. And then it's really look at what you have on stage and think about the 3 or 4 generations that came after them that they're able to influence. Yes, you are.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing has ever changed. And that's why BRICS literally is just walking away. They're not going to change. They're walking away now because they understand the fire sale is about to get real in this country. And that fire sale doesn't just end with a hyperbole. This is what's happening. So this is really, to me, Garth, when do you think the countdown to World War III is?
Is.
I
I
mean,
mean, countdown in terms of actual um, American troop boots on the ground in Ukraine.
I say as early as late July or even August, before the summer ends.
Want to take full advantage of the warmer climate, the warmer time period.
Yep.
They don't want to do it. They have to still remain. I can't believe I'm going to say this. They have to still maintain the illusion of being saintly. That's why they don't want to do it. It's not that they're already doing it. They're just hiding their hand, but they don't want to be seen that this is who they really are. They don't want the mask to slip off.
I mean, just from Biden's commentary whenever Putin was brought up, it seems like he's not backing down, and he'll do it soon. That's what I got. That's what I felt. All the projections Putin and Russia's way. Seems like he's fully committed on doing it.
I'm kind of with brother Brian in the chat. I give it about I give it about, I would say 2 months. I'm going to say 2 months on the on that scale. About August.
I don't think there's going to be an election either.
Yeah,
Oh
it's about
no, of course
August.
not.
It'll
No.
give people the shock, and hey, we have to due to national security and things of that nature. Because you got to remember, here's the thing. Here's the thing. When they find out, so when they hold the elections and they find out that there's a majority of black folks that just didn't vote.
And whichever side it falls on, we're going to be the object
We're going to be
of
the
scorn.
Exactly.
Doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter. Exactly. So no matter what we do, we actually lose. If you didn't know, we lose. Because why? Because they're losing. Because they're losing, they have to find somebody to blame. That may really be the grace that the Most High gives us for real.
Can't blame themselves now, can they? Oh no.
No.
It's like, oh no, we didn't do anything. Not I, said the hen. Not I, said the fox.
2019 went downhill, been going downhill ever since.
Do you remember everybody was saying, it's going to get better?
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's only gotten progressively worse.
Well, there, as soon as it was funny because I kind of looked at a little bit of the commentary of CNN, after the debate, and CNN is they're very Democratic leaning. So there's no there's everybody has bias now. It doesn't even matter. Everybody has bias. Um,
Remember when they used to pretend that they didn't?
oh, they used to pretend, and it's just like whatever. You're just left to
Now
think.
it's like,
Hmm.
yeah, we're not going to pretend anymore. We're just, the line has been drawn. I'm on this side, you're on that side.
Yeah, then they started like firing all the all the news anchors. Um,
Celebrity
Really?
death match, man.
that was pretty funny. Um, there, I forgot what his name was. The Van Jones, I think that Van
Oh
Jones.
man, don't even talk about that dude,
he
man.
was he was crying. He was like,
He was
I'm
crying
so
when Biden got
emotional.
elected.
I'm so emotional. They're literally saying, like, not even 3 minutes. They didn't even give the man 60 seconds after the debate. They said, yeah, they got to find a new candidate. Oh,
Yeah,
man.
y'all better just vote for RFK Jr.
Yeah. Yeah. They're like, we need to find a new candidate. Why? Why does Trump have to even debate again? In my heart, I mean, think about this. I'm
Yeah,
just put this from set your emotions aside and look at it from an analytical. Please look at it from an objective, analytical response. I know that's hard for our people. It is. A lot of our people just love to emotionalize, and maybe it's because they got maybe a little wounded. That pharaoh, the two pharaohs are fighting. I know that can be hard on our people. Masses is fighting. I needs to help masses. Ah, I know. But let's get this thing in a clear contextual image that you saw the best that America has to offer.
yeah, this is it. There's nothing there. This is literally the apex of American politics.
Well, this is a linchpin of this is not just apex of American politics. This is the apex of America. This
Yep.
is the defining moment of America, and it was literally a joke. It was literally a joke. Here, whiner. Here, whiner. Okay, Joe. Okay, you got a 6 under. Okay, Joe. Whiner.
Yeah, honestly, I at some point I thought Biden was gonna go over there and attack Trump especially when he was like, yeah, your son's a criminal, your son's a felon, blah blah blah. He's like, you. I mean, it was
Attack him with
laughter.
what?
With the cane that he's leaning on.
What do you mean, the projectile that he splattered out the other day? No,
Oh
it's all right.
dare, oh dare.
Yeah, I took it there. It's the joke that never gets old.
Now, if he had pulled his pants down and bent over and did that, I would have been dying. I would have been dying.
Hey,
I
Joe, give it a blow.
would laughing reruns. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. That was from Arnold Johnson. Oh my goodness. Yeah, folks are crying, and it's like they're talking about black issues with black jobs and policing.
Can they
Stop.
can they quantify exactly what are black jobs?
No. They can qualify that. Look, this is
I want them
horrible.
to say it in little itty bitty language that we simple folk can understand. Just say what it is. What's black jobs?
Service jobs.
And then they turn around and say, "Well, you've got wealth, and you're this, and you're that." See, oh my gosh, so double-minded.
Exactly. Okay, so for all the African diaspora and African continental Africans, Black jobs here for predominantly most African Americans have been service jobs.
Mm-hmm.
That's
That's
it.
the same here.
And exactly, Cynthia. Minimum wage jobs.
It's the
So when you
same here, though, Karis.
see it, exactly. So when you're seeing black folks from the African diaspora on the continent, it's not a normal thing. Because most of the times, which is now qualified, now it was qualified on the debate, they're taking black jobs, service jobs, running up and down this country this week. And
And
you know
that's not
who's in the
something that
fast
they would
food
ever
chain?
say.
You know who's in the fast food chains? It's all of our people.
Mm.
Yep, see it here
You know who's in
almost
the low
every other
wage
day.
jobs? It's all of our people.
Yeah, getting greasy.
You know the crazy thing is, a lot of our people that are in these jobs hold degrees.
Yeah.
Hmm.
I'm going to tell you about this story. This story happened here in Tampa, actually right down the street from me, a couple years ago. This man had just graduated. He graduated from a college in the Northeast. Came back down to Tampa. Thought he was going to be able to get a successful job, decent paying job. He couldn't find a job. And so he went around and he was killing a couple people in Tampa.
I'm sorry, what?
He went around and he was deleting people in Tampa.
You just went postal?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes,
And you know, we tend to think that we're gonna be rescued in the system because we've done what we needed to do. We were exemplary in our educational brainwashing. We've had the highest marks in our educational brainwash apparatuses that's been displayed to us. We drank the Kool-Aid 5, 6, 7 times over, and you still end up working at McDonald's. Yeah, he killed a couple people. He killed a father and daughter that were walking down the street here,
Mm.
off of where I'm nearby in New Tampa. And then he had also killed some folks over in the Seminole Heights area.
When did this happen?
I think this happened like 2020 or 2021, one of those.
Mm, mm.
Yeah, it had been closed out. And you know, his family, his mom and dad, they were lamenting. They said, "Look, he came from a good home. We raised a good kid. We don't know what happened." Because he still had to live at home with his mom and dad. That, you know, it was a crushing thing that it was a dream not deferred, it was a dream denied, and folks aren't realizing that that's what's happening. Because why?
Was this ours or theirs?
This was us.
Oh.
This was us. It was a Hebrew.
Honestly, the sobering truth is they know they could drive us to madness, and
Yes.
without the Most High, we're pretty much done for.
Mm.
Yeah. And that's what I would say. I mean, honestly, is this now what they're trying to do? Is drive us to the breaking point?
Well, they
It
tried
seems that
everything
way.
else.
It seems that way. Now you messing with. Now I wonder now, how much money did African Americans spend last year? I know it wasn't no 1.2 trillion,
We're
like
not.
like we always do.
No, we weren't spending nowhere near that last year.
Mm-hmm.
Believe it or not, right? The retail numbers are down because let me tell you, we're not spending. That's the
Mm.
only reason the retail numbers are down. We're
Bed
not in
Bath
there
and Beyond
spending.
is a thing of the past.
Oh yeah,
And the
I had a
funny thing, how
contract
many
with them.
times have we seen so many of our people getting turfed out of Bed Bath and Beyond, getting, just going through, just even just like I find it so funny. It's like you want our money, but when we go to spend our money in your stores, you harass us.
Yeah, we get exactly. So honestly, that's what they get.
Yeah, good.
That's what
That's
they
right.
get. That's what they get. I'm sorry. It's like, look, the hypocrisy, the hypocrisy is now being turned on their heads. And
Oh,
and
double-mindedness is
nobody's
running
doing
it.
it. Nobody's doing it to them other than themselves. Black
Mm.
folks here have no type of power. They could disappear my behind tomorrow. I have no power. No one here has any power. We literally are operating under the grace of Yah.
Hmm.
That's it. And people don't even realize that.
No, they don't. They don't realize that literally we are in the wolf's den or the lion's den. We're Daniel right now. They don't understand that.
Yeah, I think to be honest, the reason that they don't go after these platforms as hard as they are or as hard as they do is because really they have the continent listening and seeing and watching. They're looking at these. Let me ask a question. This simply in the chat. Give me a one if you are either in the Caribbean or Caribbean diaspora or you're on the African continent. It's the one in the chat.
What was the question?
If you are in the Caribbean or you're on the African continent. If you all can put a one. This is just a quick polling. Because let me tell you this. You have our brothers and sisters on the continent listening to us right now. You have our brothers and sisters in the Caribbean listening to us right now. There's a difference. And now we had to joke about the joke. It's really not a joke. It's a sad situation. But now think about what it is. Think about what it is that you're now seeing in Kenya. I like to have said I thought Kenya and Chad would be on Chad, yeah, would be on the what? The coup watch.
Oh man,
You remember that? When I said that, I said, yeah, probably Kenya
yeah.
and Chad, they're gonna be on the coup watch. I said it'll probably take a little bit of time for maybe Kenya. And
Yo,
boy,
what's
oh
happening in
boy,
Kenya is crazy. People my age or younger are really had enough.
Mm.
You really riled them up now, and they are trying to stop them and trying to shut down their internet and whatnot. But those, I'm proud of the. Well, if they're not doing anything, they're standing up and they're using their voice. The younger generation in Kenya,
It's
and
the
they can't.
only thing that you have, your voice. That's what they're more terrified of than anything. Don't need, sorry to cut you, but I just want to say, you don't need to have, you know, the assortment that Rojo has in order to wage war against these people. You just need
hey,
the
you don't need to have
the
the
most
Skittles
precious thing. No,
and the
you don't
Kit
need that.
Kat.
You don't need
You
all
don't
that
need to have
assortment.
the Tic Tac.
You don't need it. You don't need it. The
You don't
only
need the
thing
Pew
you
Pews
need.
and the Pow Pows. No warheads.
You don't need to taste the rainbow. You don't need any of that. All you need is the wonderful, beautiful, amazing thing that the Most High gave us, and that was our voice. Our voice is so powerful, it brought down the walls of Jericho. That's what we have,
So,
and that's what they fear.
so
Sorry,
there.
sorry, Garth.
Yeah, go ahead, Garth, because then I want to piggyback on this.
Oh no, that's all I was gonna say because I literally um, see them on social media posting stuff and saying reject the finance bill, and they are literally not having it. And if you, I mean, think about it, this president is pretty much done. If the younger population, if most of the younger population is against your leadership, it's not going to thrive because they have the strength and the wit to do whatever they need to do, and all the nuances of technology and stuff, they'll find a way to do whatever they need to do.
I was looking to there was a let me try to find him. I was watching a political channel, Geopolitics. There's not many that I watch, but I like.
Is it that Gentile with the blue eyes and skinny neck?
No, 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 no. There's another one. He's an Arab. I think he's an Arab, but he was a army intelligence officer, and he has some really good commentary. He actually does. So it's like geopolitics and conflict or something like that, or that channel. But when you know he broke it down, generally speaking, right? Um, they'll have their type of analysis, right? They'll have their analysis that's it's bland. It's you know comfortable for white folks analysis.
Mm.
This one, he put it on out there. He said, "Look, I'm going to tell you this, and don't get mad. This is the truth." He said, "What they're doing is they're throwing off the neocolonialization
Mm.
that you see was occurring with Ruto and his acquiescence." And and this is his own little like kind of I think spinoff. He does a channel with some blonde lady. That's the best
Oh,
description.
I know who you're talking about. Yeah, I was going to answer is that blonde. I think she wears glasses. I think I'm not sure, but
Uh,
blonde woman.
yeah,
I know
it's,
you're talking about. Yeah,
yeah, blonde lady. I mean, that's the best descriptor.
I thought he was the other group of people.
He
I didn't
may
know.
be. He may
I
be.
didn't think he was Arab. I thought he was one of them.
He may be. He may be.
You know them.
But he was throwing. He was throwing. He throws those facts down. Like, all right, I guess you just don't care.
Well, listen, man. Somebody, at least there's going to be at least one person from the enemy camp that's not afraid to actually speak the truth. At least.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah. I mean, look, because you have to understand in the debacle, right? Right is right. I'm sorry. You know, you can't quantify, oh, just a little this. Nah, I mean, look, it is what it is. And, you know, look, if the Most High convicts them to speak that truth, then the Most High's convicted them.
That's what I'm saying.
Who am I to,
Get in the
say
way of that.
exactly? Nope.
Speak your truth, bro.
Dig it. Yep.
It's
I'll
funny
say.
because I was reading Jasher, and it's like he has like all like, because then like the Pharaoh was asking, oh, what should we do, blah blah blah, and then literally there'll be this like wicked wise men or something, or even Balaam saying literally verbatim the truth and then
Mm-mm.
ignoring it and then giving terrible counsel.
Mm.
Well, they're always going to do that, though, aren't they? They'll tell you the truth, but then they'll try to find a way to circumvent that truth. That's what I was saying a while back. If anyone remembers the whole Mario Kart analogy I gave, where you've got the Most High, His Word, and then you've got them trying to bring about their prophecy, what they want to try to manipulate prophecy or use the Most High's prophecy to their advantage, kind of riding in His slipstream until they're hoping to garnish enough energy, enough kinetic energy where they can slingshot around the Most High and be like, "Ta-da! Look, we were in the midst. We were behind you all along, doing what we were doing. We like these people are really that tapped in the head that they believe that they can outclass the Most High. This craziest thing.
Until that blue shell comes and
Until the
smacks
blue
them in the
spiny
face.
shell. Yes.
Yeah, you think you're going all good
Obliterate.
on that Mario Kart, about to hit that finish line. Yeah, yeah. And so I want to have this stated because you had Ruto smiling,
Hmm.
the president of Kenya smiling, all in the Oval Office with Biden. And I was looking and I was seeing that, and I'm looking and thinking to myself, I'm like, this isn't going to end well.
Mm.
That's all I
No.
kept saying. I was like, this is not going to end well. And yeah, lo and behold, less than a month later,
You say smiling, we say skin and teeth.
yes, yeah, skinning and grinning, right? Skinning and grinning.
Thinking that he's that, I'm so mad. I cannot even tell you how mad I am. If you have to be the most stupidest person on the planet to plane whatever to actually think, yeah, I'm gonna get in good when the whole world can see, the whole global south in which you reside in can literally see it's over for you, it's over for them, and you're going up to them saying, please sir, can I have some more? What is wrong with you? Oh
Well,
man, man.
well, the problem that I tell you that the West is very, very, very out of touch with what's happening on the continent. And it's not that they're out of touch, they just want to remain ignorant of what's happening on the continent because the continent is changing right before their very eyes.
Yeah, no, I agree with you, but I was actually talking about Ruto going to
Oh yeah.
them. Why are you begging them when the rest of your peeps are literally
And
going? They know where this
and
is
they're
heading.
working all with one another, right? They're realizing that they have to work with other countries, that they have to get out of that colonial mindset. And he literally went there showing, I still have a colonized mind, I still need help. And then it was, all right, we're going to send all these troops to Haiti. that was the final straw. And not just send the troops to Haiti, but then the overtax the people, that was the final straw.
Oh yeah, they're literally, because you say, why is he doing this? Because he started the problem, and he thinks doing the same thing is going to fix it. Because basically their GDP is, the debt ratio is terrible, and what's happening is he's trying to use a countermeasure to raise taxes so that they could lower their debt, so the IMF will still give them more money and funding, but that's not going to happen.
You got resources, but you want to trade that in for funny money, man. Oh, somebody get this fool out of office. I'm so my blood. Let me shut up.
Mike, since you're right there on the ground, what is that
Uh-huh.
looking like? What has been described to you in terms of what you're seeing?
Now you're speaking about Kenya, right?
I'm speaking about Kenya. Yeah, you're in Tanzania.
Yeah.
What are Tanzanians thinking about what's happening in Kenya?
Well, I'm talking about the ones who's not into politics and things, that's from Kenya, that live here. Yeah, they built on this. They got to get rid of him. They saying that it's like they don't want anything to do with the West. Every time the West come in, people end up, deleted or getting dealt with very badly. And some like someone asking the question, why would the West ask Kenya to send over some army men over to what's that island?
Haiti.
And so it's they have a great deal of disrespect for this man, for the president of Kenya, him. And then they be looking at, I watched some of his interviews and things of that nature. I'm like, oh man, you hemmed up. Because they asking them questions, and all you can see is the West, the residue of the West on him, talking about, yes, these certain people, we're friends, we're allies, and things of that nature. And so he's not going to speak about what's going on over in that place they call Middle East. And so they have an attitude, and I ain't gonna say no attitude. They have a determination. It's like they trying their best to get rid of him. They're really, truly trying their best. To get rid of him, because they say it's not good for Kenya.
Now, if this isn't good for Kenya, what do you think about Tanzania?
Oh, shucks.
Think about that.
Man. You know what? It's a mind-boggling thing, because you go into the, you're in the city of Dar, and yeah, you go run to some, political nonsense. But it just seems that there is a kicking back. There's a kicking back. I'm looking at these people. The police, they don't pull them over, they wave them over. Mm-hmm. And so now these people get out their cars, because now this is what they've been doing here. They'll tax them right then and there on the street. These guys, they get up and the policeman's face, and they be cursing them out and everything and all that, and they be going back. Now they kicking back, because who's paying the taxes? And they always, it's called TFA thing. They are always in, the black neighborhoods, but the neighborhoods downtown are not black. They're Indians, Arabs, Chinese, in the tall buildings and everything. They're not down there. And that's what they're complaining about. How is it that we can get taxed so hard, so harsh, and they just tap them on the hand and keep it moving?
Yeah. So I brought that on up because if you didn't understand, this is really an inflection point on the African continent. If you don't think that what's happening right now in Kenya is not looked at by these other nations, especially in East Africa, you better think again.
Oh no, and I mean, weren't we talking about like a month or so ago that the UN plans to go to Kenya? It's all starting to my brain, the dots are connecting. I mean, why is the UN going to Kenya now? And now it's all by happenstance. There's unrest in Kenya. Oh my gosh.
Well,
Now
yeah.
that's the thing I was looking at, because they moved their staff, supposedly moved their staff to Kenya, and I'm like, the United Nations. I mean, what? I mean, now this is just me. Now there's a scripture that says, when you catch sight of the disgusting thing standing in a holy place where it ought not, let the reader use discernment. United Nations, what? They claim to bring in one world government.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's just me, and that's how I'm looking at it. And then you come to a land where the Most High said, this is a holy land. You standing in a holy, you calling yourself, placing yourself in a holy place.
Hey,
You see
listen.
Yes.
You see?
Yes, Mike. Oh my gosh, yes, bro, that's
and
deep.
I'm like, wait a minute now. I mean, and then and Kara said this. Well, we was talking about this about a month ago, and I said, it seems that the United Nations is noticing that the African Union is it's like standing toe to toe, because now countries, they don't go to the United Nations to voice their complaint. They go to the African Union.
Mm-hmm.
And so now, what do you think they're going to do? Oh, wait a minute. You have these African Union against the United Nations. Not necessarily saying that they are in competition with them, but those are the things I'm looking at. And now they talking. I forgot what the comment that the United Nations claim to be making, why they chose to move to Kenya. And I'm like, man, please, to oversee to not oversee, to give their services or something. And I was like, man, you must be out your God-given mind.
You know, Mike, I was just let me just quickly read this, because what you just said. Matthew 24:15-16. When ye therefore shall see the abomination of desolation spoken of by Daniel the prophet stand in the holy place, whoso readeth, let him understand. Then let them which be in Judea flee into the mountains. For me, it was the whole 15, the abomination of desolation. That entity, it's like, remember we were talking about the principalities. That's the meeting place of principalities. We're talking about a darkness. Wherever they go, wherever they set up they establish their foothold, which is in New York at the presently, right? But they're trying to move their office to Kenya. That's exactly that's where all these entities are going, because that's do you remember Ghostbusters, the original one, right? And what's the name of they had that the building, right? And the building itself was kind of like a portal for that entity that came down. Think of it like that. But instead of just the
Mm-hmm.
one entity, you're having a whole host of all these different entities that represent all these nations, the United Nations, all of their principalities. And they are the abomination that causes desolation, because wherever these people go, these
Mm-hmm.
United Nations, they cause mayhem. And it's always the mayhem that they cause is always first and foremost on our home soil, right? So they're coming now to create desolation because they are an abomination. I mean, there's so many.
Exactly.
I'm not saying that this is exactly what it means, but there is so many layers. We can't just read the scriptures and just say, well, this is what it means, and it means only that. No, it's multifaceted. There are so many different levels and layers. That's why we cannot be stuck in the Christian narrow viewpoint of how they see things. It's not like that. It is layer upon layer upon layer upon layer. Today it means this, the next day it means something else, and it's a combination of all of that. This one verse explains so much. Just wanted to share that. But wow, Mike, that was deep. That was
No, and
really deep.
also, you figure now we know that that land is holy, so and they're
Oh
moving
Yes.
yes.
there, and they're moving there, and we talk about the 10 kings and 3 fall. Is that Kenya now that we're seeing? Because they're gonna establish a kingdom over there of some sort, and then we talk about. I mean, the UN is gonna bring in the one world government, so it's like they're gonna choose which nations they're gonna be a part of their table.
Is it
Remember,
going
it's
to
But they
going
be?
don't
down
need
the
to be in
bus.
the whole.
Is it going to be the UN or is it going to be
Yeah.
BRICS?
Oh,
Yeah.
you're right.
Maybe it's an emergence of the two,
That
and
could be.
it's so funny that
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Wait a
what
minute.
Garth
Did
just
you
said.
say? You said. Wait a minute. You said an emergence of the two.
Yeah.
What do you mean by that?
Well, the BRICS combining with or kind of like amalgamating or kind of swallowing up, as it were, the United Nations. I mean, can we?
Oh, all
Is
right.
that a possibility? I think so.
All
I
right.
think that's a strong possibility. They're going to take over. Everything's going. Look, we read the scriptures where it says the 10 will give their power to the beast. We know that the
Yeah.
10. We know that the West is what runs the United Nations, but eventually they're going to have to bow down to the beast kingdom. And we also understand that the BRICS is the kind of like the beginnings of that. So this whole thing, like I said to somebody else, again with the whole scripture, there is always going to be a unity between two, and it's not just going to be us. It's not. It really isn't. We're seeing so many people trying to come together. We're seeing look. It says the 10 will give their power to the beast. What is that? That's two different entities coming together as what? That's almost like a two stick. I've said this so many times. We are not the only one that has prophecy. Again, the whole Mario thing. We're not the only one that has prophecy. They have their own prophecy.
Yes, they do. Yes,
I was. This is what I was trying to tell you as well, Karis, the other day. There is a prophecy, the Arthurian prophecy, right? The Knights of the Round Table, King Arthur. It's a Welsh prophecy that there are 2 dragons that are fighting under the earth, under the UK, but under the earth pretty much. There is what's known as the white dragon, and then there's the red dragon. But the white dragon is, they say, this is out of their mouth. The white dragon represents the Anglo-Saxon. And the red dragon represents, well, they said the Welsh. The Welsh took on that identity because obviously they wanted to, like, well, we're the strongest. But let's just say that we don't know who the red dragon represents, but we know who it represents. But what happened in the legend or the prophecy, because it hasn't happened, but it's prophesied. This is their prophecy. Think of like, we have the Bible, the scriptures. They have their Bible scriptures, the grimoire, right? In their prophecy is that the 2 dragons are fighting, but the red dragon will conquer the white dragon. Go look it up. I've been saying that we need to do, like, there should be a study on the Arthurian legend. It's King Arthur. They're waiting for King Arthur. King Arthur is the once and future king. What does that sound like? If that don't sound like the Antichrist, I don't know what to say. Their once and future king, or the head that received a deadly blow, but it's gonna come back again. Come on, man. There's just too much out there. There's too much that just shows this. And like I said, they're coming together. These two entities. You've got the West, who's going to give their power to the beast. So they're coming together. That's a coalition,
Yes.
right? That's their version of the two sticks. Oh man.
Yeah, their two sticks are coming together, right? Yaphetically, or Yaphetic, right? You're Gog and Magog, right? So they're versing one another. This is Gog battling Magog. They're battling one another once they fall or they have an armistice, right? They come together, time to rebuild, right? As they're rebuilding, we're being left alone because why? Because we're not going to be in this new kingdom. They already told us that. There was one thing.
Exactly. Karis, don't you find that's rude though?
Wait a second. There's one thing that Trump had said, and I don't know if anybody caught this. Trump said, when I take presidency again, I'm going to have the most deportations in the history of America.
Oh, I heard that.
Did anybody else hear
He was
that?
talking to us too.
I'm like, there you go.
It's possible they listen to us.
He said, there you go.
I just wanted to say this though, Karis. Do you not find it fascinating to borderline the disrespect that they say we're not going to be part of their kingdom? Fine, I'm not kind of raw about that. I'm happy, right? You know, some of our people would be, but they say that we're not going to be part of our kingdom, and yet they put their headquarters in our kingdom.
Well, look,
Yeah.
they're saying that that's their last vestige. It's not that it's going to stay. It will not.
I know, but it's just the disrespect, man.
It's the disrespect, exactly. It's the last, like, I got to spit on the face before I'm going down. Because why? Because when these principalities go down, they go down in a horrible way. And when they go down in a horrible way, they tend to take a lot of people with them. Right? Right? We're living in a time that the gates of hell are wide open, right? That's what's happening. Look, you know, there's no bottom to this. And now a lot of these Eurocentrics are realizing that they've been playing for the wrong team the whole time. Shout out to Brother Yacoba.
They're only just realizing that they obviously weren't reading.
Well, why? There was no requirement to read.
Right? No, that's true.
You know, look, there's not a requirement. Look,
I've reached the top and had to stop, and that's what's bothering me.
So the funny thing is, you know, I have this link on up here, right? If for folks that want to donate, for folks that want to donate to the mission of Quest Unite Africa. Here's the funny thing about this. Let me just be honest, let me be frank. This is why it's not on, you know, a Q2A. We're doing this Covenant Awakenings. If I was a white person asking for donations, guess what? I don't need to qualify anything. You want to know why? Because let me just tell you, we just saw that with Trump. He didn't have to qualify anything. Believe me. My numbers are huge. Believe me.
Did you put your palms up as well? Did you put your palms up?
Please.
I did the little 6 symbol.
Man, you crazy.
Believe me, Quest United Africa is the best. We're doing bigly. Believe me. Believe me. No. Not in our group. Not in our community.
No more, man.
No. No, not ever. That's never been in our community. That's never been amongst us. You ask for money in our community, you ask for support and funds in our community, even when you show people where you are at, where you have been, on the road that you are traveled. To do what? To validate what I'm saying. Because why? Because nobody believes us. Even when you are literally in the photo with the president of Burkina Faso, nobody still believes you. Garth and I, we see this all the time. Can you please help get these things done? Even with Mike being in Tanzania, nobody believes it. And that becomes a frustrating point. It's a frustration. Because why? Because they know all they have to do is just wait us on out. Because here's the thing, they do not want us to come together.
I'm sorry, Karis. They can wait as much as they want. Now, if this was about 5, 10 years ago, yeah, maybe. But now, I'm sorry. Look, I'm going to say, no matter how much you feel like, it's overwhelming. This is not oh gosh. They're not fighting you.
Let me tell you, behind the scenes, Sister Chantel is like, Brother Karis, how does my mom and I give to Quest United Africa? She was saying this. This is a conversation that we had behind the scenes. These are real conversations that we have behind the scenes. Because why? Because the rest of the world now sees what's happening.
The rest of the world.
The rest of the world. We're not here just, cover up in the sheets and la, 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 la. Nothing's happening. Sorry. You don't have that time. You don't have that luxury because you saw literally the foolishness of this age. You literally have witnessed this. The Most High puts it in front of your face, plain and simple. You can ignore it. That's fine. A lot of people ignored that, that there was nothing happening in Ukraine until that bill got passed and it's about to get signed by Biden.
Talking about a lot of people still ignoring it. Yeah, they're still ignoring it. They're lying and saying they're winning.
So their sons and their daughters get pulled up, and guess who they're going after? They're not going to be going after them folks. As Trump would say so eloquently, they're going after the blacks.
The blacks.
The blacks.
And
you're not
out your mouth.
The blacks have no job, so they might as well just fight.
I like I said, I hate that the blacks. It's like they don't. The disrespect of that is that we're just going to call you the blacks. We're not even going to put black people. We're not going to put people behind it because we don't see you as people. We just see you the blacks. It is, regardless of people, whatever. But at least with a people, when you put people at the end of it, at least it's like an acknowledgement of that, of your humanity. But it's like, oh no, you're just the blacks. It's like, what is that? I'm like, most of us are Indians are darker than me. The blacks.
Well, that's the thing. Blacks. They keep on calling us by a byword until Most High is like, no, these are my people, and you're gonna kiss their feet, and you're going to help them and pay tribute to them and pray with them. If not, I'm going to destroy you. That's
when that day comes. I'm gonna make sure my toes are nice and jammy. You see.
But that's
want some jam on that toast.
Yep. This is what happens. This is what happens.
But
we have to come here every week to beg for support. We beg, we ask, we beg, we do. We take pictures, we take photos, we take videos of the events, and there are things done behind the scenes, and we have to say, please believe us.
I cannot tell you how difficult it
No,
is
I
to
need to see
actually get
everything. So
paid
why? So you can look.
over.
This is how.
You
So
know,
why? So we can get destroyed in the process of doing great things. No, the Most High gives us wisdom to deal with things. That's all I say. Look, if you want to give, pray about it. If you don't want to give, pray about it. But I'd ask you to pray about it. That's it. I'm not going to be on up here trying to convince you that we're doing what I'm telling you we're doing. And I'm not trying to be up here convincing you it's not Photoshop, that I'm there in the pictures. There's the videos and all these other things.
no, hey, bro, just like
So let me tell you this: if we're doing this to ourselves right now, how do you think we're going to do? How do you think we're going to be on the continent?
in the wilderness.
In the wilderness, and guess what? And now you literally are seeing, oh, there's going to be the biggest mass deportations in history. I'm going to tell you this, family. Understand the context. If I had that clip, I would find that clip.
I could look for it.
Please, Brother Garth. Thank you. Understand the shadowy talk, the dark policy, Daniel's chapters 8 and 9. Understand what we're dealing with. We've outlived our usefulness here in captivity. You know, you want to be uppity and want to talk to your family. You want to be uppity and you want to talk amongst yourselves. You want to be uppity and you want to reach on out to the continent. You want to build together with the continent. Totally uppity.
Yeah, we are. We're just that.
We're being totally uppity, totally uncontrollable. Go ahead, Brother Mike.
And you know, you're right, because you said this. You said it. I think Yakoba also said it. We lack that respect for one another. And now, if you're a person of the Bible and you believe in, I'm going to say Jesus Christ, and he taught the Israelites, hey, love your brothers, respect your brothers. This is what he said. That's a commandment for the people of Israel. Boom. And that's one thing we do not do. You just said it. Trump can get on that, say this or say that. They believe. And they will get a heavy donation from people like us, blacks or Hebrews. But the moment you pull up with videos, pictures, no. It's just like we're trying. It seems that we're holding on to this disrespect, because I do know when, back in the days, people they was always speaking ill about our people. Or you ever heard the word nigger rigging? And they placed that upon black people.
What's that?
You know
what?
Nigger rigging.
It's like when you make makeshift stuff, you use your ingenuity to fix a problem with something that no one would have thought of.
Yeah. And so, I mean, they put that out there. Listen, I know people right there. Exactly. And then they'll be like, I want to take my car over to this white person and get it fixed. They do better than, I ain't trying to get it all nigger rigged and things of that nature. And that's the picture that the world, because they always say back in slavery, that black people were lazy. But why they can't be tired? And they got the world to believe in that.
Tired spiritually, tired generationally. Come on now.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
Oh, well, you weren't slaves. We're tired. We're tired.
And now they're about to have that same opportunity. They're about to understand how tired our forefathers
They're
were,
tired now.
and yeah, and now you know, so it's just not gonna be about you right here saying they this and they that. Mm-mm. You go have that opportunity, whether you like it or not, to be in that predicament, and it's just that simple.
Mm. I've
Oh
been
yeah,
They're
watching
gonna be in the
by the
so
way, I'm
predicament.
many
sorry to cut you guys
videos.
off. I just wanted to let Karis know I put the video in there, and at the 3 minute mark, he asked Trump the question.
I've seen so many videos of these Gentiles getting up on TikTok and that, and they're like, "We're tired.
Oh
We
yeah.
can't do this.
Sorry,
We can't do it anymore."
post that in the
Um,
private chat if you don't mind, because then I can
and
actually like reach.
Oh,
Actually,
okay,
no, you
but
good. No, you
I'll
good.
have
You
to
good.
get
You good.
out the stream
No,
real
no, no,
quick.
no. Don't worry. Don't worry. I got you. I
Okay,
got you.
all right.
No, I got it.
and it's funny just watching them talking and talking about how I'm a failure. I can't provide for my family. I don't know where our next meal's coming from. And I'm thinking, are you having a laugh? This was our reality. It's still our reality. And you tell us to pull. I heard one young white brother turn around and said, "Your glasses on." He turned around and said, "We're not going to pull ourselves up by our own bootstraps." I was like, "You never did, though, did you? You never did."
No,
Like they're feeling it.
yeah, they put those shoes on for them.
They didn't even have bootstraps. They had Velcro.
Well, those two on stage last night, chances are they definitely had Velcro. Oh, so speaking of, I'm sharing my screen. This is where Garth was saying at the 3 minutes. I'm going to go a little before, and catch this because I'm telling you, this is Daniel chapter 8 and 9 right here.
What he said. Once again, he's exaggerating. He's lying.
President Trump, staying on the topic of immigration, you said that you're going to carry out, quote, the largest domestic deportation operation in American history, unquote. Does that mean that you will deport every undocumented immigrant in America, including those who have jobs, including those whose spouses are citizens, and including those who have lived here for decades? And if so, how will you do it?
Just 1 second. He said we killed 3 people. People we killed are al-Baghdadi and Soleimani, the two greatest terrorists, biggest terrorists anywhere in the world, and it had a huge impact on every.
So he deflected.
Yes, he did. I thought you did that for a moment.
No. He deflected.
Mm.
And let me tell you this. As remember what I was saying a couple of weeks ago? Remember I showed the Balanta, things of that nature, with the dumb diversus. Here's the thing. Everybody that comes on over, they're not coming over as a prisoner of war. There's only one group of people that did that.
Mm-hmm.
That was us. And yes, even if you're Africans, you better understand if you came on over, even if you're Africans, you do have a chance to go back because your passport, because you can trace your lineage back. Even if you've been here for a generation or two, you know what tribe, you know what family you can go back to. You really can. And remember, most have only been here for 1 or 2 generations at the most. That door wasn't really open until what, the 1970s, 1980s? So yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
And that's not to throw any shade on anybody. That's just to tell you the reality of the situation. So now I want you to understand what Jake Tapper just said, the largest domestic program. And now here's the thing. If you don't think that they aren't looking at the same things that's going on with these other Pan-Africanist movements. Oh, you are sadly mistaken. And I believe they'll take the same argument and same position. I believe it. We will get thrown out of this place, literally.
I hope they're ready for it mentally. I mean, it's going to happen, regardless. I don't care how you look at it. It's going to happen.
You know, I was, I know everybody knows about the whole Kendrick and Drake thing, right? I know that obviously it's secular and everything, but I see more than what, you know. For me, I watched the, you know, the concert that he did, and then I saw the reaction of the some, you know, there's some Hispanics, Latinos or whatever. But what I found fascinating was the fact that he had two rivals, again, two separate, fighting, warring against each other, and they came and everybody was just loving. There was no issue, there was no hatred, there was no nothing. And it's like, I get that, I do understand that, you know, obviously they're in whatever, but the Most High works wherever. If we can see that he's working with Putin, that he's working with Xi Jinping, that he's working with the BRICS, he's doing what he's doing, getting these nations to do what they're doing, I'm like, can we not see the same thing with these people? For me, I saw that and I realized they're watching. This probably also terrified them. You've got us trying to come together on the spiritual side of things. Mm-hmm. Then you've got the secular, where you've got these two rival gangs who there's no way you could get them in the same room together. And there was nothing but just love and peace and everybody coming together to literally join in the diss of this person who is a representation of those people in the Middle East.
Listen, Sister Chantel, especially for me in my age and growing up listening to these artists and, you know, now like kind of maturing out of it, it's literally, there's no coincidence. The Kendrick is drawing, and the Kendrick and Drake thing is drawing a line. And it's also exposing the music industry. And I mean, I don't expect our people to understand that and pick that up, but then on a deeper level, you're showing who's been propped up and who's been doing this black masking and doing all this stuff and pushing the most degenerate culture and who's being propped up while doing it. Not saying that Kendrick isn't too much different, but at this point, he's using his voice to show it. I mean, but I don't know. That's the duality of it, and they're allowing it to an extent, but that's what's happening.
I know. Don't get it twisted. I understand. I'm not like all, you know, anime eyes, like, oh yeah, you know.
No, I know, but you're
you know,
it's just like you're just seeing how in everything they're making the delineation between us and everyone else.
Yeah, and not only that, I know that a lot of things they do is orchestrated, but you're orchestrating it and thinking that it's gonna go your way when it really ain't.
No,
like
it's not going their way.
It is, and it really ain't going their way. And I'm like, do you not know that the Most High said, I've seen the end from the beginning. I knew what you was going to do. And it's like, you still do it anyway. And you think that you're going to, overcome it? That for me, that's the thing. And so when they see this and they see the camaraderie, so to speak, it's like it puts them in a state of fear because there's a unification that's going on multiple different levels. Even if these are the two props, the two props might have their own agenda, or their agenda might follow their agenda. But the Most High is like, I don't care what your agenda is. I'm the one playing this game. This is my chess board. I'm playing 4D chess, and you're playing tic-tac-toe. Who do you think you are? So when he's like, okay, I'm bringing my people together. I don't care what you want to do. You can do whatever you want to do. You can use these people if you want to do, but I'm using everything. This is my game, and these are my people. That's how I see it.
Yeah, a lot of exposure is happening right about now. A lot of exposure, and you know the funny thing is, I have to just. I can't really laugh. I just really have to just shake my head. I have to shake my head on this because we literally had talked about all of this 2 to 3 weeks ago on this platform, on this channel.
Yeah, I remember you literally saying during this debate, he's going to literally make especially with the whole he's a felon and all that. You that was apropos. Literally, that's exactly what you like.
We
You
saw
predicted
the whole game plan. It's not even funny anymore. It's really not. He's a felon. Yeah, and Joe could have been a felon too. Matter of fact, he still could be. Quid pro quo. He started the war in Ukraine.
Mm-hmm.
He can be listen, Joe could go to jail and spend the remaining years of his natural life.
And unnatural.
Before he does that, yeah, he'll croak out. They'll they'll get rid of the geritol.
What end?
They'll get
From
rid of
what
the
end?
geritol treatments and and anything else that's like, propping him up to give him, some sort of stimulants. I don't know, man.
What end is going to croak though, Karis? That's the question.
Man, listen, I don't know.
You wrong. You wrong.
From the tutor, what is it? From the rooter to the tutor?
Rooter to the tutor.
Rooter to the tutor. Oh my goodness. Y'all so wrong. Oh, y'all so wrong.
It's not what a man takes in that defiles him.
Dang. That's how them draws look at the end of the day. What defiles them? Oh Lord. And then he fell asleep during the debate. And look.
Did he have a Grandpa Simpson moment?
Do you see that picture right there? That was him. Mouth wide open. That was him. And I think that was when he stared like the hardest. He just had a hard stare, like he just lost focus.
Oh my gosh, this is, you have to laugh. This is what you said. This is what America is. You have to laugh. It's run by geriatrics.
That's what we were, And don't get me wrong. If you're an older generation of folks, don't get us wrong.
No, I mean no disrespect to my elders at all.
No, but this is when you know that you're not doing a full-time job. You ain't putting in 8 hours a week, and then you're expecting 40 hours a week, and then you're expecting everybody else to be working that. He ain't working 40 hours a week at 80-something years old. Let's just stop.
No.
A few hours a day at least.
Yeah. 1 to 2 hours, if that.
He has handlers like crazy.
Stop with 1 to 2 hours. 15 to 20 minutes.
It just gets shorter and shorter.
Shorter. Look, he's just there to brush his teeth, put on his suit, take a picture in front of the desk as a proof of life.
No. So you got it wrong. He ain't brushing teeth. He's brushing gums. He's brushing gums.
And then get them dentures in.
That's right. What's it called? Dentifix? or something like that. I don't know.
Meet with the children that he has coming in, so they can take pictures.
I don't know. The theme tune of Gummy Bears just entered my head just then.
And that's Mondays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays. He takes Fridays off so he can work on his golf swing. Yo, the internet is just dying on the whole golf. Oh my
Yo,
God.
honestly, that I knew that was.
They're
I have he
dying.
my golf swing is the best golf swinging ever known to man for a 80-year-old man. His golf swing is terrible, feeble, and weak, like his leadership of this country.
Golf.
Was that Donald? Is that what Donald said?
Swing. Oh my goodness.
Oh my goodness! What? Like what? They're not even arguing policies. They're just arguing about.
I have the best
my gosh.
cognition ever for a cognition test. The doctor Ronnie Jackson took my cognition test and he said he never seen scores like this. I'd like to see him take a cognition test.
if you're going to compare yourself to Biden, like, come on, the bar is so low. The bar is so low. Why would
he wasn't talking about real golf. He was actually talking about carrying his clubs and miniature golf. That's what he's talking about. Listen, I'm -6. I have a 6 handicap. On that windmill hole. The windmill hole. It takes lots of concentration. Lots of concentration to get to that windmill right on time. It has to go over the hill. I mean, that's standard.
Just like the scene in Happy Gilmore when he's at the miniature golf and it's like the clown that's laughing.
Get into the hole. Get into the hole. Oh my goodness. It's sad. It's sad.
Well, they represent them. They represent the country, so they just showing the weakness of the country. And I know Trump. He's preaching a power game, or trying to bring the power back. And we all know how to go play pan out. But this is what this mean with the present administration. It's weak all across the board. Period.
It is. It is.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm sorry. Why are you gonna bring your grandpops up so he can be literally jokingly murked by Trump? So he can get jokingly murked. That's all that was. Trump was just blazing him. You're a whiner. You're a whiner. And Trump is just blaming. It's like that's good. I couldn't even understand the first 5 minutes of what Joe was saying, but anyway, yo,
that what it put me in mind of. It reminds me of the two old guys.
He can't even for the country to be strong. The leader needs to be strong. He's not strong. Look at him. He can barely talk. His eyes aren't even open.
They remind me of the two brothers from Trading Places.
I need that closing. Someone put that closing in the chat. I need to find that closing from Trump. Oh my goodness.
Oh, his closing statement. I can find that too.
Please. It was no comparison. Like as soon as that closing was done, they cut the CNN. They said, Dems need to put somebody. They said Dems need to have a replacement quick. Yo, when your own party literally just fired you.
Mm-hmm. Well,
does people realize this? He got fired from his own party.
If D-Day didn't do it, then I don't know, man.
Remember, I think people were talking about that like on Redacted and all these other shows. They're talking about, look, they're going to get rid of Biden.
Yeah, I've seen that.
And now look, that was on CNN. They didn't even give that man a 24-hour news cycle. They didn't give him. They didn't look. They were like 60 seconds later. They said top Dems are worried. They need to find a replacement. They couldn't spend that. You can't spend it.
Mm. But let me ask you something though, Karis, on that.
Yeah.
Now, let's say hypothetically speaking, now that there is no the elections do not happen this year, and now so that Biden he still remained president, right? Now, but
Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
if he or well, if something happened to him, then Kamala would come into the position, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, but here's the thing. Kamala won't even have a chance.
All right, but that's what I'm saying to you though. So if something happened to Harris, who comes in then?
I listen. The way that this is going, she's not going to have a chance because she's on the ticket with Biden.
Mm.
They got to replace Biden. But what replace Biden with what? Kamala? I'm not going to do anything for black people only. No, that's even worse. That's even worse.
Mm-hmm.
So now they're trying to scramble. Who can they bring back? Are they going to try and do a Hail Mary for Obama?
That's the reason I was asking the question. Because if you go back and you look at these TV shows be telling you, hey, and I'm gonna tell you what it is. You ever seen that show 24?
Yeah, I'll stick a 24 too, man.
There you go.
Man.
Oh man. Yeah.
Man.
I put the closing statement in the chat. And isn't it funny that and coincidental? The dude, dad who was in 24 died recently. And now you brought it up. Kiefer Sutherland, Donald Sutherland.
Donald Sutherland died.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, he did a couple months ago.
Mm.
I didn't even know that.
But this is courtesy of pbs.org. pbs.org. I don't, family. I if please again, I'm pushing this on now. Please again support Quest 2 Night Africa. We on the regular, we need your support because why? Because your support is providing for the mission. And if you didn't see the Burkina Faso video, I'm going to replay it. I'll have Brother Fastnickel make a few of the changes. It wasn't really big, but you can see it at the beginning of this video. In the Faso days. We're working together. We're talking with our brothers and sisters on the continent. Because why? Because we have been oppressed at the same time. They were just oppressed with riches under their feet. We have been oppressed with knowledge and being forced to be away from the riches. That's what happens. This is what happens in the lands of your captivity, my captivity. This was a global captivity.
When we move as a group or a nation, the stronger you are.
Exactly. And we better understand that quick. Because if you didn't know and you didn't just hear, understand why Trump deflected. Because that massive deportation program, well, nobody knows the trouble as we are getting loaded up. Listen, family, we've been telling you, better to work with our family now better to have an relationship with our family now on the continent. Because when you're trying to have a relationship with your family, when you done got kicked out, well, I would be asking the question, how come you didn't know? How come you didn't do anything? How come you didn't try to help support organizations that were working to provide this type of connection? How come you weren't trying to work on the walls, but instead you just looked at the wall being built and you just went about your business like, who cares? And that's going to be a lot of our people. Family, it's going to be a lot of our people.
80% of our people.
And so when I say this, and I speculate, I speculate, but now this speculation is for real good reason, because it really came out of a person's mouth that had two cognitive tests that went perfect, and one physician said that it was the best he's ever seen.
Best scores ever. Best scores
ever. Sorry. Oh my goodness, I'm sorry. I couldn't pass that up. Come on, family. I couldn't pass that up. But it's looking as though if they have the election, it's going to be Orange Man 2.0.
No, they're not going to have that election. They're going to make sure that war gets started.
Oh, yeah.
They're going to make sure of that.
No,
what they call it?
Yeah, go ahead, Brother Mike.
No, like what they say, come, what is it? Come hell or high waters? Yeah. Yeah, that's what they want to do. And then two, now, this is another question I wanted to ask. Trump talk is going to be the biggest deportation ever in America's history.
Yeah.
Now, do you really truly think he's going to send all of those migrants back to South America and all that stuff? No, they need a cheap labor.
Exactly. That mass deportation isn't talking about us or them. It's talking about us. Understand the okey doke. Hey, we don't need you anymore. Y'all didn't even want to try to vote in the election. Hey, we had illegals voting, and guess what? At least that they wanted to show their allegiance to America, and now we're finished with you all, and we made arrangements that you can go back to the continent, and that's where you need to go. Because we have to rebuild to make America great. And our biggest mistake, that's what they're going to say. Look, you already hear it from the mouths of white supremacists anyway. They already say their biggest mistake is bringing us from Africa to here. Because we couldn't appreciate what we have or had, right? That's what they're going to say. And on top of that, yes, Arnold Johnson, we're not citizens anyway. Technically speaking, we're not. That's an easy one. All right, well, let's bring this on up to the highest court, the ICC, the ICJ. Yep. Why is that? Oh, well, this is a prisoner of war because of the dumb diverses, and we're trying to make things right, and there you go. The problem is with that, and that prisoner of war declaration, they're going to try to think that they can, supersede Rome, right? Hot potato. It's not my potato. I don't want this anymore. And then Rome's going to say, no, if anything, you all have to pay. And we're going to make you all pay because why? Because all of the what? all these other nations are still under.
They're all going to pay
Bingo.
because Rome's going to empty out her everything.
Bingo.
Yeah, but
They're all going to fight among each other because there's a big debt that nobody wants to pay. That's how this thing, to me, my personal thinking, that's how this thing's going to work. Is it going to be over the course of months? Probably not. Maybe a couple of years. I'm anticipating more than likely a couple of years. Or I could be wrong. I mean, things are really going
I really
fast.
hope not.
Said things are going real fast.
I really hope not, though, Caris, because you realize that the fighting is who's going to pay. Like, you've been holding our payment for forever. Give us our money and stop messing around. Just pay us, and then we can just leave. Stop fighting about who's going to pay. You all owe us. You all stole from us. About, oh, it's going to take years. No, it ain't. No, it ain't. Not if the Most High has anything to do with it.
Yeah, no, yeah. But I mean, but yeah.
No, I know what you're saying. I know what you're saying. But the way we've seen everything happening at the speeds in which it's happening.
Oh, yeah.
I'm
the
like,
speed is tremendous. This is really tremendous speed.
The Most High said it's for what you did to his temple, and that literally encompasses everything. His temple, meaning the literal building, and us as a whole and individually. We are the temple of the Most High.
Well,
you spoilt his temple.
So it's a destruction. Let me put this into context, right? Let's put this into context because there's kind of a little bit of a global checkmating going on with Russia and China in respect to their position on the African continent. Now think about this. Russia and China are in Africa. Putin had just declared that Traore is under his protection. Putin just declared that. So now you have all of these road construction projects and everything else that's being done and funded by China. So there's a give because what did the West do? The West just took. And I saw that, and Garth saw that, and Mike sees that firsthand every single day. They took and they didn't build or replace or provide. There was no proper recompense. There was no quid pro quo. So now Russia and China are coming in with the, hey, here's a quid pro quo. Is it fair? No, not really. But it's something that's better than what folks have with the West. So that's the argument.
Did you see?
Yeah, go ahead.
I was going to say, did you see that video of that woman? I can't remember the name of that guy. I think he was the Greek prime minister at one point. But there was a video of this woman, blonde woman, probably from America, talking about, oh, but they're going into Africa and they're building ports. And he's like, yeah, but they're using them. And he was like, what did the West do? At least they're doing something. They have a non-interference policy. The West interfered, stole their stuff, gave nothing, just took and took and took and took and just spoiled and kept them at the state that they're in. See, they understand they're going into, they understand, oh, they're going into Africa. We've got Russians in Africa. We've got Chinese in Africa. That's dangerous for us.
And that's what I was going to say, Sister Chantel. What now is their last card that the West can play?
They're trying to recolonize.
No, they can't recolonize. Not the way that they want.
Oh no, sorry, not they try. They are trying. What they're trying to show is they're trying to point fingers at Russia and China and saying that they're colonizing.
Yeah, so it doesn't really matter. That argument's lost. That argument's lost. So let me tell you what the last card that they have, because they're not going to be able to come back in militarily. That's lost. The Houthis, I think, it was suspected. I'm gonna say it was suspected the Houthis used the
Oh, I think I know
hypersonic
what you're talking now. I think I know what you're getting at.
shoot down to shoot down a couple, or to shoot a couple ships, to sink a couple ships. So these weapons that Russia is providing, he's providing them, and because they're non-nuclear weapons, they're not worrying about nuclear proliferation. So you can have all the hypersonics that anybody wants. Go get your fill of hypersonics. And what does that mean? That means that there's no more militaristic leverage. So what's the last leverage that the West has with
What
Africa?
are you speak? You talking with Africa?
The last leverage. They don't have militaristic leverage in Africa. They don't.
To the United. Well, I can't say the United Nations.
We are their last leverage. We're being held hostage.
Yes, we're the last leverage. Hey, this is our show of good faith. We're gonna bring
Good faith, man.
the African Americans home. Yep, yeah, the folks were seeing it. Yep, us, Dorothy was seeing it. Aliyah Yahudim was seeing it. Yes, us. We brought your brothers and sisters home. See how nice we are, right? They got to control the narrative. They don't want to be
Dude, if you don't get up out of here, I ain't even thinking about it like that. Oh, we bringing your people back home?
Yeah.
Come on now.
Yeah, they don't. Yeah, they got to control the narrative. See, we are
Wow.
we're not the bad guys. We're the good guys, just like the good guy dolls.
So now you.
And I'm the president that's gonna do it.
No other president is gonna do it.
That's what Donald Trump wants to. He wants to put himself out. I'm the president that's going to do it. I'm the one that's going to bring them back. I'm going to. He wants to take glory for himself, to put himself in the good light.
And what are all the African nations doing? They have petitioned to do what? To retrieve the gold.
Now you know the United States is not about to let no gold go.
If they are in the catch-22, because why? Because they do not have the food sources coming in. Look, they have even stated that there's a crop failure in Virginia. I don't know if you all know how big Virginia is, but to have a crop failure, there's a drought that's going on.
I know you know how big it is now.
Yeah. Yeah, I do. Yeah, I do. Yeah. Sister Chantal was like we talked up. That's the whole of England, wasn't that?
It pretty much is, yeah.
Coast to coast. Oh my goodness.
I said this was gonna come. I said, do you know? I said if I was in charge of certain things, I'd be like, okay, you keep the gold. But I ain't giving you no food. You want food? Oh, it costs this much in gold. That's what I would do. I said that ages ago, and I see that this is going exactly in the same way. Wow.
Gold. Yeah, for your food, not only, look, we'll sweeten the deal. Not only will you get the gold, and guess what? There's a trade, because why? Because I brought back your African Americans, and we can trade in dollars and have the gold and there and the leverage, and it'll be great. It'll be huge. It's bigly. I know I'm the greatest.
Best trade ever.
Greatest.
Best trade ever.
And my golf swing proves it.
I'll be like, keep your dirty paper. I don't want that. Your paper ain't worth nothing.
Leverage. That's their last thing. Look, if I don't have the military, then I have to have the African Americans, right? to be able to then go back. Hopefully, their calculus is hopefully they'll run back. They'll come running.
Why do you think I said that we are their economy?
Because we are.
Exactly. They have nothing else. But do you see that the same thing? We are their economy, but they don't realize they're about to become the economy of the beast.
Yeah. Because why? Because in that short move, they will literally place themselves in the beast economy. Because why? The economy in Africa will be adjacent, but not be in the beast economy. It won't be. Look, they're thinking that economy actually won't crash. I guarantee you, they're probably looking at the numbers. No, it shouldn't crash because on paper, what can they do? They can print more money.
It's literally
it's and there's less debt. And guess what? Now they can trade. There's less expenses, right? Guess what? Social Security, Medicare, all that other stuff. They can say, look, we can now offload these debts. That's what their calculus will be. Look, it's purely a monetary situation, and that's how we need to go.
They haven't figured that they are trading where they're going to have to give us. That's the trade, that we're their economy. They then become their economy. When all that gold is spent, because I can see that Africa is going to take the living, excuse my language, everybody, the living piss out of America, the West, and say, oh, this is how much this is. It's going to be literally tick for tack. You did this to me. We're going to spoil you. You want to eat? You're going to have to pay this. But once they've done doing that, I see that the trade is then going to become their people. It is the principle of equivalent exchange. You took from us. We're going to take from you.
Yeah, and that's and the thing is that, well, here's the thing. Why not? If hands down, bar none, that there is a certain people that is really the intelligence class that you're just disregarding. This would be now a time, right? Hey, if you're thinking that we're garbage anyway, then let us have our brothers and sisters back.
Exactly. And we're not taking the crust. We're taking the best of out of you.
Mm-hmm.
The same way you did us.
Yeah.
Again, like I said.
And then invariably what will end up happening? Look, the other folks will be tagging along. Oh, crap, I see what's happening. No, we don't want to be here. Because why? If we're gone, then guess what? Somebody has to replace us as the lowly class, as a
they had a window of that. Do you know that they had a window of that, Karis, in Florida, where they had to pick the fruits and vegetables, and they couldn't do it. They had to try. They couldn't do it. That was an eye opener.
Yeah, I remember they couldn't do that. That was back in that was like in 1870, 1880. They couldn't do it.
No, I'm just talking about the other day. Oh, I'm just talking about was it last year or the year before? Yes.
That was literally what DeSantis had banned the use of
workers. Yes.
And now they all still use migrant workers, believe it or not.
They're
just going to be more coy about it. But now they can't do it.
Basically showed them. That showed them, nah, we can't do this. We can't. And remember, they had their whole chest out saying, oh, we'll drive the trucks and we'll pick the fruit and we'll do this and we'll deliver. We don't need them people. And they couldn't even do it. They couldn't even spend an hour, a few minutes in the sun, and they were already complaining.
Yeah.
Those black jobs are daunting, man.
The black and brown, because it was the brown that was it. We did it first, and then they came in.
Yeah.
It seemed like
Esau is going.
It seems like he gonna enslave his own people. That's what it seems like.
Yeah.
No, it's what he's been doing that from before he
He's
had
been-
us. He's been doing that. It's no
Yeah,
different.
but they're gonna be enslaved to another
Yeah,
slaver.
yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Eastern oppressors, as I call them.
Oppressors, exactly.
And the kicker is, they have your this. You know, listen. I don't say the Most High has got jokes. Yeah, the kicker is that they're gonna look kind of like you. They're gonna have the same phenotype, same nose, kind of thing, same skin, same kind of hair, because you made everything about race and about looks and about color and about this, that, and the other. And the Most High is like, oh, you want to make it? Oh, you love it? Okay, I'm gonna make these people your oppressors. So you can't even turn around and say, oh, it's racism. You can't even say that.
I should. That's gonna be something else. Well, they driving them in. You know, well, not driving, flying. They bringing them in, giving them tickets, plane tickets, and everything. So I mean, hey, however it plays out, it plays out. Is this what they call replacement theory?
Well, probably because they didn't want to acknowledge. But they said now CRT and all this other nonsense. And remember, we told them that was going to blow up in their face because why? They didn't want to acknowledge, right, what was going on. So now they're doomed to history, and now their history that they're getting ready to not just. They're not going to repeat. Well, they're going to repeat, but they're going to repeat it as their own people being the low and downtrodden. And that's what the word says, the pride of their hearts, the vanity of their hearts. It's deceived them.
Can I read something? I'll be quick, and now I've got to go anyway. Do you remember I told you about the poem that I wrote?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. If that's okay, if the chat is okay with that as well.
Yep, go ahead. We have now from our esteemed poet.
Oh, don't say that.
Sister Chantel.
All right, give me a second. Let me just pull it up.
I'm sorry, I had to.
Okay. Right. I run, I hide from my enemies. They are without love, kindness, and show no mercy. From them I flee because their hell follows me. Searching for relief, I'm so lonely. Evading their pursuit, I fall and I cry. All I can do is look up to the skies. I can't breathe because I'm buried underneath all their lies. No matter how hard I try, I can't outrun them. They're nearby. Is this my fate? To fall into the hands of men that hate? For them to turn around and obliterate what you create? All they know to do is to take and take and take and still take until nothing's left but bare bones. And the world looked on for 400 years and silently condoned. All these people, all these evils these people have done is just plain wrong. They prey on the weak and call themselves strong. Heaven knows that this can't continue to go on. Otherwise, everything good on this earth will be gone. The wicked rage because they know they haven't got long. Because my Father's about to send them back where they came from. But it don't end there. Hallelujah. Send up your praise and send up your prayers. Because our Father is taking us out of despair. This is the good news. Send up a standard and declare He's bringing us home from Babylon, cleaned and repaired. No more strife, heartache, pain, anguish, nothing to fear. Our Savior draws near. Can you feel it? Can't you sense it, Yesharel? The heavenly court is open, the trumpet's blown. Listen to his voice, because he's calling his own. It's time to go home. It's time to go home. It's time to come home. Yeah, that's it.
Hallelujah. Now that was good. That was good. That was good. That was some bars right there. That was some
I wrote that on I wrote that on Friday.
Chantel Lamar.
Stop it, please.
Hey, Sister Chantel, you throw a little Rojo in there, you go make sure to have a beat.
Yeah, next time we need to have Skittles and candy bars.
Rojo be in the background, yay.
Hey, y'all, I'd like to let you hear my haiku, Rojo's Candy Store.
But I wanted to read that because I felt like with everything that's going on, we're hearing the Most High. We're seeing the like, as Yakoba likes to say, the dry bones are coming together, and it's in every aspect, everywhere. All these different divisions. It's like almost like as if the strongholds that kept us divided in these subgroups are now starting to break down. The walls are coming down, and as those subgroups come together, the next one comes together, the next one comes together, and it's like it's continuing to come together, and it's pulling together until we come together, until you guys come together where you are, and we come together where we are. And then the whole diaspora comes together. And then not only the diaspora and the continent comes together. And the two sticks are truly come back together. I see that. And just the same way we see how they keep taking, and they're itching to get back on the continent. And it's like, I get frustrated. I write. I just write. And I just want to chronicle what I see in I don't know, in kind of poetry form, I suppose, or whatever. But it's so frustrating, and I know that each one of us feels that frustration. We feel that burning. It's like it's burning us when we see the things that they do. It's like you've taken so much from us, and you're rich and fat, and now we're trying to stand up for ourselves. We're trying to pull ourselves out of the adversity that you put us in. And you still have to try and take. You are thieves, murderers, schemers. And you can't even, you're not even, you don't even want to relinquish that. You don't want the title of it, but you don't want to stop doing what you're doing. It's like they don't want to be called the Ray Ray word, but they want to be the Ray Ray word. So I thank you for allowing me to read it. I just needed to get it off my chest. Anyway, I've got to go because my kids are coming home. So I pray everyone has a good Shabbat and peaceful, restful, and we'll wait and see what happens come next week, Monday.
All right. Yeah,
you're right. Be safe out there, sis.
Yeah, all right. Thank you, Sister Chantel. Because I want to do these couple videos, and I'm gonna close up shop here in a few minutes. But let me do this. This is the debate. I still have that. I'm gonna play the final closing. These are the closing statements. Here we go. Sorry.
You now have 2 minutes for your closing statement.
Like so many politicians, this man is just a complainer. He said, we want to do this, we want to do that, we want to get rid of this tax, that tax. But he doesn't do anything. All he does is make our country unsafe by allowing millions and millions of people to pour in. Our military doesn't respect him. We look like fools in Afghanistan. We didn't stop Israel. It was such a horrible thing that would have never happened. It should have never happened. Iran was broke. Anybody that did business with Iran, including China, they couldn't do business with the United States. They all passed. Iran was broke. They had no money for Hamas or Hezbollah, for terror, no money whatsoever. Again, Ukraine should have never happened. He talks about all the stuff, but he didn't do it. For 3.5 years, we're living in hell. We have the Palestinians and we have everybody else rioting all over the place. You talk about Charlottesville. This is 100 times Charlottesville, 1,000 times. The whole country is exploding because of you, because they don't respect you, and they have to respect their president, and they don't respect you throughout the world. What we did was incredible. We rebuilt the military. We got the largest tax cut in history, the largest regulation cut in history. The reason he's got jobs is because I cut the regulations that gave jobs, but he's putting a lot of those regulations back on. All of the things that we've done, nobody's never seen anything like. Even from a medical standpoint, right to try, where we can try space-age materials instead of going to Asia or going to Europe and trying to get when you're terminally ill. Now you can go and you can get something. You sign a document. They've been trying to get it for 42 years. But you know what we did for the military was incredible. Choice for our soldiers, where our soldiers, instead of waiting for 3 months to see a doctor, can go out and get themselves fixed up and readied up and take care of themselves, and they're living. And that's why I had the highest approval rating in the history of the VA. So all of these things, we're in a failing nation, but it's not going to be failing anymore. We're going to make it great again.
Okay. I was trying to see. Yeah.
Oh my
I was
gosh.
trying to see both the thing. That's fine. Well,
All right.
don't worry. We'll have much juicier content coming.
Oh my gosh.
Because here's the thing. I'm gonna share this real quick. Let me share this tab. All right. So, just as I had said, not more than 3 minutes after that closing statement by Trump, they closed up, and then CNN, their panel headed by Anderson Cooper, and they had Van Jones there, and basically they fired Biden. They fired Biden, and let me tell you, you've never seen this. Thank you, Sean, for posting this in the chat, and I'm showing this from the Telegraph. Oh, this is all Western leaning. This is all puppet. This is all puppetry. Story by Hamish D. Breton Gordon. This is 5 hours ago. We think we have problems in the UK with the apparent lack of statesmen or women to run this country, but Joe Biden's abject performance last night in the debate with Donald Trump is a worry not just for the US and the UK, but for the whole planet. They're throwing him under the bus.
Exactly. He is the jobber. He is the guy who, when you watch an anime, the main character has to fight the main character has a rival that fights the strongest character, like Vegeta fights the villain, and then Vegeta goes down, and then Goku comes in and swoops up and saves the day. That's basically what this is.
You're sounding kind of rough there, Garth.
Yeah, I'm outside right now, so I'm not gonna probably be the best sounding.
All right, no worries. Yeah, we're gonna pick this up definitely on Monday because again, we're here. We're not. We're neutral. That's what it is. We're neutral. I don't care what's going on with the presidential thing. That's not my prerogative. The prerogative is what we're doing right now as a people to get ready, because let me tell you, as Scripture has stated this. As Scripture has stated this, we're getting ready to go home. That's the word. How we do it, I don't know. That's the Most High. But what we can do is prepare, because why? Because now they're getting ready to throw him under the bus. Gee, I don't know. Is this the first step in folks turning? All this energy that they're going to have for Biden, or excuse me, for Putin to go in after, for NATO to go in after Putin. Do you think that right now, today, they're probably looking at themselves and they're saying, what is getting ready to happen if we go into war and Trump is elected? Then we're literally left here high and dry. You can't make this up, family. You cannot make this up. What say you, brother Mike? What are we looking like in these next 48 hours?
I would say this is one time we're gonna have to work extremely hard to work together as a nation off the top. Because I mean, last thing we need is to be discombobulated. That's the last thing we will need, or want for that matter. The world is, you go on these different channels and you have all these different nationalities calling themselves giving black people a warning. Warning about this, warning about that. You're going to be replaced. Your replacement is at hand. These are what other nations are saying. And if we start, I mean, sometimes, sometimes this is the time where you need to just sit back, analyze it, and make a faithful decision. I mean, yeah, we probably was born here and all that. Yeah, but this is a nation who never truly recognized you as a citizen, much less a person. So, and then what they taught us about your homeland, it's a S-hole. That's what they say. But yet and still, they're the ones who digging up minerals from this S-hole. They're the ones who are feeding. These are the people that's feeding their nations off of this nation. So now, brothers and sisters, you're rich.
Yes.
You're rich.
Yes.
You are absolutely rich. We just need to move together as a nation, because that's the most fearful thing for this world. It's for us to move as a nation, because we're the only ones who are separated. The only ones. Everybody else is together. Even the Hamites, they work together. But we're the only ones that's not. But I mean, let's continue. Let's fight to move as one. Get rid of this. I'm gonna do this here. I'm gonna do this by myself. Yeah, we've seen how that's been working out. But now is the time where we really truly got to come together. That's what I say, Garris.
Yeah, I gotta go back to this article, and then I'll go ahead and we'll kind of close up for for Shabbat. But man, look, it says here, our enemies will thrive on our weakness at this moment when the Western world teeters on the precipice of the next world war. The only person who can probably prevent it increasingly appears unfit for office. The person who would depose him might end hostilities in Ukraine by giving Putin the keys to Kiev. Both may be able to run the U.S., at least with the help from advisors, for the next 4 years, but they could set the rest of the world alight as they tinker in their own backyard. Listen, we have witnesses here. These are the witnesses out of 2 or 3 witnesses, right? This is it. To me, this is the end. I'm looking at this and I'm like, wow, if you haven't prepared, please prepare. Do we have months? Do we have years? Do we have weeks? I don't know. Truly, I don't know. Don't ask me, ask the Most High for understanding. Because honestly, I don't know. But I'm going to tell you this. There's now the rest of the world that doesn't know. Wait a second. We built up this. We built up that. We were having this. We were having that. We were given all this equipment. We were given all this money. We're given all this training. And now we're about to flop. Yeah. Who would you who in their right mind, if they were a NATO country, who in their right mind would want to go on in and think that they're going to have the help and support of the United States? Honestly, if I was them and what I just saw, I would say, heck nah. Sorry. Sorry. This is why I want to wrap it like this. Wrap it up like this. This is why it is so critical to donate to Quest Unite Africa. For Brother Mike and I to do this mission. Critical infrastructure and economic development. But that starts with the relationship with our brothers and sisters. And that relationship, getting that together in a good light right now is more critical more than ever. We have to, family.
Yeah.
We need your help, family, for this last rung with our negotiations with Burkina Faso and getting things taken care of with them. And the doors that it opens to the rest of the continent, as you can see. The Sahel is taking major steps in infrastructure development, economic activity, business development. And guess what? They don't just want our help, they need our help. It's a need. The other day we were talking, it's like, man, this is taking a little long, with everything and things of that nature. And then, we had to kind of dial it back a little bit. And we had to realize we're dealing with a nation that never made decisions on its own. Can you imagine that? You are a nation that could not make decisions on your own. You may be given a nice title, a nice fancy job, a nice fancy position, but at the end of the day, you're virtually powerless. You don't even have to be qualified to know what you're doing. Because it wasn't about you knowing what you're doing. It was about you being obedient. Obedient to your taskmasters. And now, we're looking, because we want to get to work. Look, part of what I was doing, I was going to Georgia. I think you saw some of the photos the other day. And then I went by the new warehouse. I got that to show them on a Zoom. We're ready to put in that work. And all we're doing is we're waiting for them, because honestly, here's the saddest thing. Here's the saddest truth. They may not know the mechanisms of how to do the rest. Imagine you may not even know the mechanism of how to pay for something. man, I want it to go to my people. It needs to go. We're working on it to come here, but we don't even know how to make the payment happen. Can you believe that? And we know how to make payment systems happen in the United States left and right. Man, here's that line of accounting. Here's that acquisition number. Here's this. Here's that. I know for all my U.S. contracting folks, especially Defense Contracting Agency, the U.S. has no problem spending millions, even billions of dollars in a single setting. And what we're looking to have just to get operations started is literally chump change compared to the West. Chump change that many of us, probably even listening here, already has. That could literally change a nation. A nation of 23 million people. A nation. And we're working through a government. This is a hard thing. So when people say, yeah, we're going to come up and we're going to do this, we're going to do that, I'm like, number one, understand there's still people on that land. Number two, you're going to have to be able to learn to work together. Oh, that's a hard one for folks. Now, this is my land and this is that, and I don't want to see anybody else. If that's your attitude about the people, I can't help you here at Quest Unite Africa. If that's your attitude about these stinking Hamites, I can't help you. But let me tell you this. People's attitudes are going to have to start changing awfully quick, because right now, as you can see with this, whatever this was, it wasn't even a debate, with this debacle, you're now seeing that the chances of us getting kicked out of the United States is not just some hearsay or a matter of conjecture or something that's, proselytized as, a fear doctrine. No. You heard it from the horse's mouth. From the lack of the attention to it. Because why? If you don't hear anything, then guess what? By virtue, it means that they agree with it. So yes, family, this is why we're here and we're asking for support. Because why? This is really the last rung. And then when this rung is cleared, then we can be able to help our brothers and sisters on the continent. That's how it goes. And just think, it's hard for them trying to figure out how to clear these legal mechanisms and legal maneuvers. So there's a lot of things in the background that we have to look at. Do you realize they're making us, they're trying to make business on Africa for us harder. That was always the goal. That was always the goal. So we have to be the ones that fight back with our dollars. Because honestly, that's the only thing we can do. It's fighting back by establishing our relationship with our brothers and sisters on the continent. That's it. There's no other way. So with that said, Brother Mike, any final comments before I close this on up?
Only thing I have to say is that just work harder to work together. That's it. That's will be the meat of our survival. Is working together. Period.
Absolutely. Hallelujah. Thank you, Brother Mike. And with that, again, please get your donations in today. Because to be quite honest, I don't know how much time we have left. If you saw what we saw last night, listen, why wait? Hallelujah. So with that said, family, most time willing, I will be back on Monday. I'm feeling a little bit better, just a little bit of a twang in my voice, but yeah, I'm feeling a whole lot better. Hallelujah. I just have to thank the Most High on that one. So with that said, family, shalom, salama, siyemi, shalom, peace and blessings. Yasharel.